The witch is waiting. And welcome to round 4 at Slapjā Ragana. It's tight, it's scary, and it's ready to punish. First on track, Marco Rourke, your round 3 winner. If he can survive the witch, maybe the rest of you have a chance too.
You should know that I won't leave you. I'll stay beside you. I'm never letting you go. You've been lost and alone in the city lights, I know, but I will guide you home.
welcome to round 4 at Slapjā Ragana. It's tight, it's scary, and it's ready to punish. First on track, Marco Rourke, your round 3 winner. If he can survive the witch, maybe the rest of you have a chance too.
I've been treading water for some time, picking up the parts of all my life. Didn't get to solve it this time. How am I to break apart? Don't tell me why we can't collide. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Don't you feel it? On the break of dawn, I'll follow you to carry on. On the break of dawn.
Welcome back to DKRTR Street Season. This is qualification for round 4 for the penultimate round of the entire season. And today we're back in Slapjā Ragana with another interesting layout that we haven't seen before, and we'll definitely not see this in real life on the track. Yeah, unfortunately, because it is a really fun layout. It is super fast. We can see drivers of Group A already in the server warming up. This is going to be a really interesting race, I think. So with you today is me, Ed, of course, as always, and my brother Red is also here, but he's at the moment on the rig practicing since he's starting second in the next group. So we're gonna have, no, first of the second group, yeah. So we're gonna have a little bit of division of, how was it, labor today. That's gonna be quite fun. Lots of tire walls on this track. So there's a lot of opportunities to end your run prematurely. You have to be really careful with your speed, and you do need a lot of it. A lot of these transitions require you to throw some massive angle to lose some speed so you don't overcook it and hit the wall. We also have a really long outer zone. I don't remember which one that was from the top of my head on the numbers. But anyways. Also, the initiation itself is really easy to mess up. You can easily crash and ruin your run immediately on the first zone. There is a bit of an elevation that you have to initiate over. And it's basically the other way around from the initiation as it was in the first round, if I remember correctly. And some near misses on the track in the practice already. It is once again a layout that loops back in on itself, so it's not easy to practice your runs when there's a lot of people in the server. Seeing some nice wall rides already. Oh, and a crash. That's unfortunate. I see that a lot of drivers just went back to pits, and it looks like it might be that we're getting a call to pits already and waiting for our first driver of the day to get out on the line. And sorry for a bit of a delay, we're probably just waiting for the smoke to clear up from the track. As you see, drivers left a lot of it on it during their practice runs. It's still lingering, so it's probably not a very windy day. And while we wait, let's look once again at Mark Rourke's demonstration of the track. So we see the initiation into outer zone 1, going for the inside clip 2. We just keep throttle on the maximum, brake with the angle. Outside zone 3, be very careful not to hit the wall and to hit it right, because that sets you up perfectly for this outside zone 4. That is very important. Now you need to lose some speed coming into outside zone 5, but it is a very long outside zone and demands a lot of speed itself, so you really need to get back on throttle very soon. Now a little bit of a handbrake pull here to set you up for outer zone 7 and across the finish line. That's our track today. It looks like drivers are once again back on track practicing. They must have some technical issues going on, and we weren't able to start. Oh, what a near miss. Looks like the track has cleared once again. I'm not seeing any drivers on it. So is this the moment when we finally get on? Let's see. Yes. Our first qualifying driver today is going to be Solomon from Mongolia from Team Epic Sim Racing. Already going to the starting line. He's going to set our baseline for today. Three to one, and it's green, and it's a go. He's off. Let's see. A nice flick initiation into outer zone 1, fills it completely, very good. Now into inside clip 2, now transitioning over to outside zone 3, a little bit of an angle change, a bit of a correction, but nice into outer zone 4, completely fills it, bumper on the wall. Now into outer zone 6, the big long water zone. Hits it nice at the beginning of it, but exits a bit early. Does hit the touch and go very well, and on the last outside zone, quite close to the wall. Good run overall, some mistakes, definitely room for improvement. But a decent run overall to open up this qualification. Let's watch in the replay again. That was really good on outer zone 1. Outer zone 3, you see this small correction there to keep the angle going, but smooth and steady through outer zone 4. That was really nice. Now into outer zone 5, you see he entered it very well, completely filled it, right bumper on the wall, but exits it a bit early. Somehow still manages to hit the touch and go and sets himself up for the last zone as well. So luckily outer zone number 5 didn't completely ruin his run. He managed to get back on the correct line for the rest of the track. And it's a 54 for the first run. Let's see if he can improve it on the second one. Not the highest score, might not be enough to qualify him for the tandems. We've seen drop zones in a similar range before, but not exactly as low. But let's see his second run as he's already off. Very similar initiation to the first one. And really good fill on outer zone 1 and nice on in the inside clip as well. Looks very steady in outer zone number 3. No corrections this time around, and again perfect bumper to the wall in outer zone 4. Nicely timed transition and sets himself up for outer zone 6. Beautiful this time. Completely fills it and hits the touch and go perfectly. Let's see the last zone. Very good on the wall. That was definitely an improvement. Way less mistakes and way better fill on all the outer zones. Really good run. You see he's right on the line. On the back of the line on outer zones 5 and 6. That is just so nice. I mean 5 and 7. Judges are still debating on the score for Solomon's second run. In my opinion, it was quite a big improvement. Felt like he was very confident on the second run. I just want to see the replay again for it. Clipping through it, just right on the edge. That's just masterful work. And it's a 70 for the second run, so it's a pretty big improvement. Congratulations to Solomon with a decent score. That is way closer to getting him on the grid tomorrow for the tandems. Next up, we're going to have Gundar Ga from Latvia. No team representation, but already off the line in the E46. A nice initiation with a lot of angle, not completely filling the zone though, completely missing the inside clip, and spins out. He does try to continue going through the track, but it might be a 0 right there already. Very shallow going through outer zone 4, transitioning over into outer zone 5. Losing a lot of angle there and a little bit of a checkup as well. Needed to get back on throttle, but somehow manages to get in the zones anyways. Very shallow in angle. Hitting the outer zone number 7 and across the finish line. Yeah, quite a few mistakes there in the run. The initiation was good. Could have been a bit closer to it, but yeah, something happened here after the inside clip. He completely locked up. He didn't straighten out, but he lost a lot of speed and basically almost parked it. Off for the second run already. It was a 0 in the first, unfortunately. A nice initiation, but exits outer zone 1 a bit too early, hits the inside clip this time and doesn't straighten out or check up, but misses outer zone 3. Now hitting outer zone 4, a little bit scared of it, doesn't want to hit the wall, so barely hits the zone. Now into outer zone 6. Nice and smooth through it. Equal fill in all parts of the zone, good on the touch and go and good on the last zone as well. Riding the wall on the very end of it, almost hits it. Yeah, did miss outer zone 3 and almost missed outer zone 4 as well. Definitely room for improvement there, but at least gets it across the finish line this time without a 0. It must be some points. Really don't want to guess how many. Flashing the hazard lights there. Watch out when a BMW is driving. You step aside. And it's 32 for the second run. So at least gets himself off the board. Eliminates the possibility of being knocked out just because he scored a 0 in 2 runs. It's just a matter of can he stay with that amount of points in the top 32. And next up we're going to have Vitali Isaya from Ukraine from Team Drift happens. Definitely seen Vitali before, but I'm not sure I've seen the name of that team before, so he might have changed teams. I wonder what's going on there. Okay, let's see what he can do in the teal E36. Already going nice big angle initiation, completely filling outer zone 1, smooth and steady across the inside clip as well. Now transitioning over with massive angle into outer zone 3, coming into outer zone 4. Wow, that's a textbook run, so much angle. He does it perfectly, fills the zone and just puts the car right on the tire wall into outer zone 5 as well. great on the touch and go. Now coming up to the last zone with big angle, sets it up nicely and across the finish line. Wow, that was a perfect run from Vitali. Might be the earliest 90+ run that we've seen in any qualification. That was just beautiful textbook from Vitali. This is how you do this track. You just do maximum angle. Almost looks like he's fully locked on the steering. Just no corrections at all. Sets it and forgets it. Yeah, there's really nothing bad I can say about this run. Absolutely. That was fantastic. Problem with putting down such a good run is, like, how do you advance it from there? And it's an 83, so let's see if he can push it even further in his second run. Smoky tires initiation and nice big angle initiation again into outer zone 1, hitting the inside clip perfect again massive angle into outer zone 3. It looks like he is basically roboting this track. Exactly the same amount of run, even more angle coming into outer zone 5 this time around. Absolutely perfect on the fill of the zone, hits the touch and go, fills it completely, and big massive angle into outer zone 7 and across the line. Yeah, he did try to go even more aggressive on the second run with the angles, putting a few more degrees up there, trying to make the score just a few points better. If the first run was really good, this one was quite insane. Not exactly a 90 for the first one, so it's good that I'm not the judge. But look at the confidence here. Just scraping the rear bumper on the tire wall. You can see it clipping through even. Definitely must be what the judges want to see. Unfortunately, haven't had any info on any of the drivers so far from the drivers questionnaire. An 87 for the second run. That's definitely an improvement. Only a few points though, but should be enough to get him into tandems for tomorrow. Great runs. And next up, we're gonna have Darvis Rosttos coming up to the line from Latvia. A really good looking E36. And we do have some info about him. He's drifting since 2016 already and off the line. Nice big initiation with big angle into outer zone 1. Doesn't fill it completely, but hits the inside clip very well. Completely missing the outer zone 3, unfortunately. Doesn't set himself up for the best line into outer zone 4 as well. Almost over rotates after outer zone 4. Let's see how he does in outer zone 5. Right on the edge of it, but he is in the zone. Very shallow angle coming into the touch and go. And now for the last zone, big angle, but missing the zone, unfortunately. Overcooked it with the handbrake probably, and didn't get as wide in the last turn that we would like to see. But he gets it across the finish line, so he knows that he can at least do it in the competition setting with the pressure going up. So now it's just a matter of cleaning up the mistakes from the first run, getting closer to the wall, being a bit more aggressive, cleaning up those mistakes. Let's see if he can do it. Now, since I do need my other monitor for the game, because my brother is practicing right now for this group, I won't be able to use the information, unfortunately, that the drivers have provided a lot, because I have to alt-tab for it. And then I don't see the runs. It is what it is. A bit scuffed today. But that happens when two people run on the same rig. Darvis backing up, coming up to the line again. And it's a 43 for his first run. So definitely left some points on the board. Let's see if he can get them back in the second run. No dramas in the initiation, the handbrake initiation, it looked like from my point of view. Very snappy into inside clip to missing outside zone 3 again, but hits outside zone 4 much better this time with big angle exiting it. Good transition into outer zone 5. Way better than the previous time. Better angle on the touch and go as well, and coming into the last 7th outer zone, scrapes the wall, almost straightens up, but that must be... Ooh, but what was that on the finish? That might be an unsafe finish. We'll see what the judges think about that, but yeah, that might be a mistake on the finishing, because you definitely need to straighten the car out, or at least show that you've got control of it before you do any crazy stuff like 360s. And that it didn't look like that this time around. It looked like he spun out after crossing the finish line. Yeah. Did hit the inside wall with his front bumper on the transition. That was after the finish line already, but still. Let's hope that Darvis had his meditation music playing for this round, as that's something that he definitely likes to do in the practices and competitions as well. It's interesting. I've also thought about running some music in the background of my runs. Maybe that would keep me calmer. Make me do better. Quite a long judge deliberation on the score of his second run. It might be a split decision, or if that run even counted because of the way he finished. And it's a 0. And it's a 0 because of the finish, so it wasn't a safe finish. Remember, if you want to do some shenanigans like 360s or something after crossing the finish line, do straighten out first, show the judges that you do have control of the car, and only then go for some fun. Okay, but that's that for Darvis. He's gonna have to stick with the 43 that he got in the first run. Next up, we're gonna have Frederick Blockhus from Norway from Team Clutch This. Another great driver. Let's see what he can pull off on this track, as he's already sent by the starting lights. A nice flick initiation, big angle into outer zone 1, and hits one of the pylons and ruins his run completely on initiation. He went very aggressive though. I really liked the style that he was going for with the initiation, but it was just a millimeter too deep. And unfortunately, the pylons here aren't like they are in real life. Where they're made of plastic, they probably wouldn't ruin your run like that. But Assetto is an old game. We don't really have things like that. So it's a 0 for the first run. Unfortunately, let's see it again. Yeah, he just exited a bit too wide on the outer zone. Probably needed to be a little bit more on the throttle there to save him. But it's really hard to judge because the initiation is over a hill. It's not easy. Let's see if he can fix it on the run number 2. Another big flick initiation. Look at the angle. A bit shallower there. Doesn't want to hit the wall again. A bit too deep on the inside clip, I would say. Good on outer zone 3. Sets him very well up for AutoZone number 4, bumper on the wall again. A bit of a later transition into AutoZone number 5, but it's very well. It just works for him. That's exactly what he wanted to. Hits the touch and go as well. And a massive angle coming into AutoZone 7. Doesn't lose it. Crosses the finish line with a bumper on the wall. I expected him to maybe hit the wall at the end there, but he managed to save it. That was crazy. Yeah, a little bit too deep on the inside clip there. You could see the inside clip clipping through his hood, the hood of his car. Perfect on the AutoZone number 4. That was nice. And AutoZone number 5 as well. You can see that he's really close to the inside line of the zone. No corrections in the touch and go. And massive angle. Look at this in AutoZone 7. Definitely getting some points on the board there for Frederick. And it's a 72. Puts himself in the second place for now. Good score for a good run. Next up already we do have Luis Trevinho from ATTT, Team ATTT from Spain. And a good looking white E36 off the line already, big flick initiation into outer zone 1, completely clears it and didn't really see many smoke there. And here comes the smoke. He definitely hit the inside clip perfectly, and outer zone 3 right on the wall sets him up perfectly for outer zone 4, scraping the bumper as well. Massive flick transition into outer zone number 5, fills it about 80% through, no corrections, hitting the touch and go and approaching the last line with massive angle as well. Very close to the wall. Good run from Luis. Very smooth, very steady, very consistent throughout all the map. I really loved the initiation. That was snappy. I think went closest to the wall in outer zone 3 than we've seen anybody go today. Could have been a little bit deeper here into outer zone number 5, but yeah, it did work to hit the touch and go just right, and to hit the outer zone 7 after that as well. You have to be really brave on this track. You have to trust that you're not gonna hit the tire wall. And apparently, as we've seen already, you definitely do have to hit all the tire walls to get a high score here. No excuses. Let's see if he can improve the run of 79 points that he got for his first and the second one. Another massive initiation, but misses part of outer zone 1, hits inside clip though. A bit shallower on outer zone 3 this time around, but looks right back on the line into outer zone 4. Now another massive flick and angle transition into outer zone 5. Fills it basically the same amount as previously. Very close to the wall in the touch and go, coming into outer zone 7. Right on the wall again. And across the line, interesting. I'd say he might have improved in some ways, but yeah, the massive mistake into outer zone 1 probably brings his score lower than the previous runs. That was a bigger mistake than anything that he did on his first run for sure. If not that, then it was a solid run overall. You could see the bumper clipping through the last tire wall into outer zone 7 already as well. Definitely going for it. And yeah, and it's a 67, so it's not an improvement over the first run, unfortunately for Luis, but a 79 puts him in the second place for now, and it's a pretty good score. So if things continue going on as we've seen in the other qualifiers. That's definitely a score that brings you into tandems. Next up, we're going to have Carlos Milos from Latvia going for his first run in the colorful E46. A big flick initiation, completely filling outer zone 1. Nice angle, hitting the inside clip. Looks very smooth and steady there. Could be quite deeper into outer zone 3, only fills it halfway through, and missing a lot of outer zone 4 as well. Was maybe filling it with one wheel but not the other. Decent on outer zone 5 though, but could be deeper. No dramas, hitting the touch and go, keeping the angle going and angling up for the last zone across the finish line. Definitely could bring it a bit closer to the tire walls, a bit more aggressive. Yeah, the first outer zone after the initiation was perfect. I was expecting him to be a bit more brave in the other zones as well. Yeah, like here, outer zone 4, definitely missing a lot of it. Outer zone 5 already trying to get back on the correct line and gets back on it for the touch and go. And for the last zone, definitely in there. A little bit of a correction in the middle of it in the second part of outer zone 7. Nothing major though. Going for the second run already, hitting the inside clip, going over to outer zone 3 again, doesn't really completely fill it, but much better this time around into outer zone 4. Now transitioning already over to outer zone 5, way deeper in that as well. Now let's see the touch and go, hits it very well, sets him up nicely for the last zone and rides the wall. It was 60 points for the first run. Let's see if it was any better this time around. Yeah, another decent initiation. Not as aggressive as the first time around, but definitely filling most of outer zone 1. Now, he's a little bit afraid of outer zone 3. It looks like might have hit it way too many times in practice. Decent on outer zone 5. Yeah, very good on the second part of the track. I gotta say, I really like the look of the C46. The livery is just nice, the color combination's perfect. And it's a 64, so it's a bit of an improvement, a tiny one, but still, every point counts. Puts himself in the 5th place out of the 7 drivers that have put up a score so far. So that should bring us over to the 8th driver of this group, which is going to be the last for Group A. That's going to be Camille from Poland, from Team Kamimoto, in the E36, with the underglow as well. I don't know if it comes by default. Looks really good though. Oh, and missing a lot of outer zone number 1. How did that happen? Hitting the inside clip though. Big angle coming into outer zone 3, but unfortunately missing it. And same with outer zone 4. A bit too far away. Transitioning over into outer zone 5. Right on the edge of it, probably there in it with one of his wheels at least. Missing the touch and go, straightening up and hitting the wall. What happened there? It might have been that there was a hardware issue. Because it did look like he did not have control of the steering, because you wouldn't just straighten out and go in a wall like that, would you? Yeah, Camille definitely fighting with the car today. Yeah, I really don't think I've seen the underglow on any of the other cars. It looks pretty cool. And it is a 0 for the first run, of course. Let's see if he can put it down a score on the second. Off the line already with smoking tires. And again, initiating a bit too early, not hitting outer zone number 1. Does hit the inside clip though. Let's see, a little bit better onto outer zone 3, at least hits it this time around, and same with 4, much better into outer zone 4, fills it with one of his wheels completely at least. Same with outer zone number 5, way better in it this time. Wow, and bumper on the wall for the touch and go, that was risky, big angle coming into outer zone 7 and hits the wall and straightens out. Getting the first double zero of today, I assume. Really unfortunate for Camille. Yeah, it was decent for most of the track. At least looked like he was definitely in points. Went quite braver here into outer zone 4 and in 5 as well. 5 was the best of the zones, him at least. It is the long one as well, so of course, you know. Oh, and this wall tap. On the touch and go, that was so close. Just scraping it. Yep, too bad for Camille. So that's all she wrote for him for this race. That's going to be a double zero. And here we have our scores for the moment for the qualification after the first group. Vitali leading with 87 and Gundar Ga trailing with 32 at the moment. So scores are all over the board. It is a tricky track. It's not easy to drive it, you have to be really confident.
Yeah, my life is lovely now, I'm focused on me. You said you were about to die, I guess the car is on E. But see, I ain't even tripping, cause I just chose to believe that somebody gon' come around and give me just what I need. I don't wanna see you finding, see you looking down and out. Coming to me crying, saying you miss having me around. Gave you chances and you blew it, you so easily influenced. All the times you told me beat it, now you gotta face the music, I'm saying.
I know that I gotta stay away from all your games, yeah. I know that I found somebody else to love me one day. You'll realize the grass ain't greener on the other side, no. You did me dirty for the last time, so now I gotta say goodbye. So now I gotta say goodbye.
That was something that's a bit laggy.
I get lost inside my thoughts, and when I start to think, oh, the Tahoe closest starts to end up on the brink. I tried so hard, but all these scars, they cut so deep, I bleed. I fell so fast from heaven, it's like someone clipped my wings. Now I'm falling, and I can't see the ground. Can we stop this gravity? It keeps bringing me down. I can't breathe, and I don't wanna die. Can we stop this gravity? 'Cause I wanna say goodbye.
And Group 2 is already in the server practicing for their runs. Let's see if anyone from this group can dethrone Vitali from his first place at the moment in this qualifying session. Sorry for the background comms there. There's some driver frustration going on. Oh, it looks like we're gonna have a server restart, unfortunately. Yeah, it's definitely not easy to practice with everybody else already on the track, but whenever it goes through, it's such fun to watch this merry-go-round of drift cars. There's smoke everywhere. Near misses on every transition. Drivers are getting called to the pits, so the first one to run in Group B is going to be Orex Redmanis, my own brother, and after his run he's going to join us to cast the rest of this event as well. So let's see what he can do. Already on the line, waiting on the starting lights, and off he goes. A nice flick initiation into outer zone 1, misses half of it unfortunately, but good on the inside flip, could have been a little bit closer to it. Decent on outer zone number 3, good angle on it, not much, not too little. Good on outdoors on 4 as well. Could feel it a little bit more, but sets him up very well for outdoors on number 5, in which he is like 80% in. Hits the touch and go as well. A little bit of a correction between the touch and go on outdoors on 5 and on outdoors on 7. Looked like a little bit of a wall tap, but didn't throw him off. Filled the entirety of the zone. Not completely, but at least getting some points on the board. Let's see the replay again. Yeah, very nice on outdoors on 3 there. Really good on outdoors on 4 as well. Could be just a few centimeters closer to the wall. That would definitely help him out. I really like the start of this outdoors on 5, but at the end he started shallowing up a little bit already. Got through some big angle for outdoors on 7. Looked like he scraped the bumper on the wall just a tiny little bit. And it's 55 points for the first run. Let's see if he can correct those errors on the second one. Already off the line, smoking tires and a big flick initiation in the outdoors on 1. Similar to the first time around, misses a lot of it, but hits the inside clip much better this time. Same with outdoors on 3, bumper on the wall on it. That was beautiful. Now into outdoors on 4 with massive angle, taps the wall a little bit. Has to correct, so to stay in drift. Now coming into outdoors on 6 already. Taps the wall and goes off and gets a 0 for the second run, unfortunately. Definitely tried to improve his points, definitely tried to go more aggressive and closer to the walls, and unfortunately that cost him the score for the second run. But look at the outside zone 3 there, that was just right on the wall. Couldn't get any closer than that, and tried to get even closer for outdoors on 4 as well. Even that didn't mess him up, but yeah, unfortunately hitting the wall in the long outside zone number 5 is what did it this time. And now we're gonna have to do a little bit of a switch with the Steam IDs and whatnot, so bear with us.
Indeed. Hello everyone. Yep, that was me just now who just failed. Unfortunate, nerves got the better of me, you know, couldn't quite manage to put the second run together, but man, what a fun track this one is. It's a fast one and it's quite tricky with the walls. Very difficult to get up to those and not crash into them, but already we have the next person on the line, Guido Egley. This looks like the light is green, and oh, he's off the line with the E36. There we go, initiating into the first outside zone. Beautiful, gets that zone with a nice straight line initiation, hits that inner clip, maybe just a bit too far into that one. Transitioning out to the outside zone, not as deep as he could be, but staying nice and consistent, and oh, missing that zone completely, but staying consistent on the same line the whole way through. Getting up to that big outside wall right now, not bad at all. Hits the touch and go just a bit with one wheel, transitioning over to the last outside zone, adds some more angle, and wow, what a great finish right there on the line. Beautiful at the end from Guido. Of course, some things at the start to change up a bit, so let's see. He got the straight line initiation right there, hits that first zone, not too bad. Yeah, just a bit too deep right there, clipping through the inside clip itself there as well. Could be just a bit closer to the wall, and yeah, that unfortunately sets him up wrong for this outside zone as well. But then from here on out, I mean, not too bad at all. Staying in the zone with both wheels, not as deep as he could be in the zone, but still staying nice and consistent right there by Guido. So not a bad first run, not a bad first run at all. Let's wait and see what the score is going to be here for Guido on the first run. So there we go, that white E36 looking good. Let me check, we have some stats for, or some info about Guido here as well. Unfortunately did not submit anything, so anyways, off the line for the second one already. And looks like the semaphore is not working for him, but there's the message in the chat, and off the line he goes. First run 48, let's see if he can improve that. Another straight line initiation, gets that first outside zone. Okay, a bit shallower on the inside clip right there, not as deep as he was on the last one, but not as deep on the outside zone right there as well. But he does make a massive improvement right now, filling this zone, transitioning onto the big wall ride right here. And yeah, about the same as before, maybe just a bit shallower, but still quite consistent. And there we go, gets that touch and go nice and deep on that one. Breaks once again for the last outside zone right there, and beautiful across the line right there from Guido. So definitely did look like an improvement in some parts. Now of course in a few zones he could have been a bit deeper right here like before, but see here, a bit shallower on this one. Now unfortunately here, yeah, he was a bit deeper on the last try than he was on this one, but I mean the biggest improvement right there, that outside zone. Great job by Guido. Did not hit the wall either, you know, of course gotta be careful with that. Very easy to scrape those walls just a bit too much accidentally. So yeah, let's see what the judges are gonna say. Definitely gonna be another scored run, but is it gonna be an improvement with this run over the 48 from Guido right here? And styling on that start line. That's a great shot right there. That's a great shot with the angle as well, you know, with the tires. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's see if Guido can get over the 50 or maybe 60 points. And yes, he gets into 58 points right there with the second run. So a nice 10-point improvement for him right here. Sets him up at the 6th spot right now. Of course, definitely going to see drivers setting higher scores than that as well. And he will be moving down the line. But viewers, what do you think? What is going to be the cutoff point for this one right here? Are we going to be seeing it go up to the 70s? Now, I myself think, honestly, it's going to be somewhere in the 60s for this one. Might even be mid to low 60s, to be honest. The track is quite difficult, so I think for the high score runs, it's quite a tricky one. But Daniel's Romanuk's off the line right there with the E46 initiating a flick into the first outside zone. Nice middle of the zone right there. Good initiation. A bit too deep on that inside clip right there. Transitioning over to the outside zone. Nice in middle of the zone. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Hits the next zone as well. A bit shallow, but it did seem like both wheels were in there, so looking good on this one. Let's ride the wall. Beautiful right there towards the edge of the zone as well. Not bad at all. Hits the touch and go. Now for the last and only diesel zone, and there we go. Across the line goes Daniels on the first run. I mean, great start right there. Solid run, solid run. So not... Alright. So definitely not too many corrections right here by Daniels. Very well done. Of course, some zones could be a bit deeper, but looking overall quite consistent, which is exactly what we want to see. Don't want to see any surprises from that lead driver right there. Of course, also for tomorrow when we do go into the tandems as well. So let's see what the judges are going to have in store for the first score. I'm not a rapper, of course, but anyways, Daniel's already next to the line, not yet at the line for the second run. Come on, Daniel. Get on the line. Let's get ready. Alright, let me get my brother into... So he's one of the drivers who waits for the result and then drives up to the line. And speaking of the result, 77 points on the first run. Great run already, and Daniel's off the line for the second run. Nice flick once again. There we go, fills the outside zone. First one to the middle right there, gets the touch and go. That was beautiful on the touch and go right there. Exactly where he should be, almost touching the wall. Let's see the first wall ride right here. Beautiful, amazing, very consistent from Daniels, very consistent on this one. Let's see the second wall ride right now, and yet another one, and I think deeper than before as well. Right there from Daniels. So far looking like it could be a bit of an improvement from himself, but taps the wall at the end. That last outside zone, quite deceiving, quite deceiving. It can catch you off guard if you don't manage to brake just enough for that one. Unfortunately, that's what happened to Daniels right here, but I mean, up until that point, a great run from him. So definitely looking for like one of our drivers who is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the tandems, of course. Oh, 1 second. There we go. My brother also needs to get this practice in. Needs to get his laps in before the qualifying as well. So, there we go. He's in his setup. And, yep, unfortunately for Daniels, the second run is indeed a 0. But that first 77-point run currently putting him up in 3rd place. And I think that is definitely a safe run right here. If he wants to make it into the tandem, should be just fine with that one. So there we go. Up next on the line is going to be Danielis Sulticakus. I'm sorry if I butchered that last name. I'm doing what I can. But anyways, back onto that E46 that we have right here. Lights go green, and off the line we go with Danielis. A nice red and orangish E46, and initiating on the first outside zone. A nice flick initiation right there. Just a bit too deep on the inside clip. Up next, missing the outside zone, transitioning just a bit too fast for that one, but the wall ride does go pretty nice, a bit shallower towards the start of the zone, but gets into the zone by the end of it, very nice and deep. Now the big wall ride right here, the big outside zone, stays in the zone the whole time, just some small corrections here and there, doesn't quite hit the touch and go, or just barely maybe. But yeah, same thing here on the last outside zone as well. So just a bit shallow, getting into the zones, but just barely for a lot of those zones. So definitely going to be looking to get deeper into all of those outside zones right there if he wants to see an improvement for his second run. But overall, I have to say, looking fairly solid. A bit slow, if I'm seeing that correctly, compared to some of the other cars that we've seen so far right here. So maybe also a bit much on the left foot brake. Couldn't quite see that, didn't quite catch that well enough to tell you, but yeah, definitely a bit of a change right there from the previous maybe setups, maybe driving styles that we've seen. Definitely does impact it all. So yeah, you could see he was a bit slower, and maybe that's also why he was shallowing out into those zones just a bit. So let's wait and see what the first score is going to be for Danielis right here. From Lithuania, from Team Perkūnas Motorsport, right there. Currently, points leader, 87 points while qualifying. Leader right here, Vitali right now. Still haven't seen any 90-point runs right here, but of course, I've seen a few people who had, who had a bunch of good runs as well. But of course, now about Danielis right here, one of our younger drivers, I would say 15 years old right here. So seeing a lot of these newer drivers, or well, younger drivers getting into the sim drifting as well, you know, great way to start off right here. Now of course, this guy right here though, well, he's actually an real-life drifter as well. He's been practicing for 5 years overall, and well, there we go. Speaking of 5:45, the first run right now from Danielis, warming up the tires a bit more, getting ready for the second run, and off the line he goes. Let's see if he can improve it as well to get into the top 32. And there we go, off the line he goes. Bit of a straighter line initiation than the last one, and nice inside clip, a bit too deep, but not as deep as he was before. Getting into that zone a bit as well, could be a bit deeper on that one. And nice wall ride right now. Great job by Danielis, improving a bit on the zones. Let's see if he can get deeper in this big outside zone as well. And there we go, right on the outside. Very well done, kids. The touch and go as well, very nicely. Let's see, slow it down a bit for the last zone, and there we go. Nice improvement from Danielis right there. Not bad at all, not bad at all. Great run, a nice improvement. I think this should definitely be an improvement over that first run that he had. Now, of course, is it going to be enough to get him into the qualifying? That's another question right here. So, there we go. Now, of course, always listen to his advice, though, if you're trying to get into the sim drifting right here, which is never give up and keep trying. Always have to try to keep on getting better, which is, I think, what he did with this second run right here. And I mean, still a very young driver, a lot of improvement, a lot of years of drifting ahead for him. Waiting for the score right now in our, what was this zone called? The results zone, let's just put it that way. So let's see if you can improve that over his first 45-point run. Currently sitting at 9th is Danielis right here. Let's see. There we go. Currently, of course, we have Group B going on. But up next, we are going to be seeing Group C with... Oh, wait, never mind. We'll get back to that later. Danielis, second run, 60 points. Nice improvement right there. Could be close to the cutoff zone, though. That might be a bit risky for him. So let's wait and see how that will play out. But for now, let's go on to the next driver, which is Olaf from Estonia, from the team Nipetworks. That's an interesting name right there, but off the line we go already. All right, no waiting whatsoever. Olaf right into that first zone. A bit of a straight line entry right there. Fills the first outside zone very, very nicely. Great job on the inside clip as well. Just a hair too deep on that one, but right where he should be on the next outside clip, riding the first wall. Oh, nice. And up the wall right there, up next to the wall on this one, transitioning onto the next wall ride right here. Not as deep as he was on the first wall ride, but still very, very great job by Olaf right now. Transitioning over onto the last zone. Beautiful job right there on the first run. So yeah, starting off the run with a bit of a straight line initiation, but getting into all of the zones, very, very good job. I really liked the first wall ride that he had right there. The back bumper clipping into the wall as well. Great, great job by him. So there we go. There. That's beautiful. That's beautiful right there. And a lot of angle right there. Not really seeing too many corrections, not seeing him use the brakes too much as well, which is of course exactly what the judges want you to see in this track. What we are hoping for and what the judges are hoping for is of course very, very minimal left foot brake or handbrake usage, if possible none at all, for everywhere except that last outside zone. Right before that one we do have a little bit of a slowdown to get you properly set up for that rotation. Well, not rotation, the last angle, I guess that would be the better word. But yeah, judges right now seeing what they want to give Olaf for the first run right there. Now, of course, back to the E36 right now. On this track, I do wonder if there's going to be a difference between E36 and E46. And well, if we're talking of the scores right now, the 76 right there for Olaf, definitely a big difference between the last few drivers that we've seen. So let's see if we're going to see an improvement. Off the line we go. Right now, our fourth placed driver, but he could improve that, and deeper into the zone he goes. Great job on the first outside zone. Hits the inner clip yet again, just a hair too deep, but very, very well done on the outside zone right there as well. Let's ride the first wall. Not as deep as he was on the first time, but I mean, those are just barely any differences right there. But on the second one, right on the line to start it off, great job on the big outside zone from Olaf. And now into the last one, slow it down just a bit with some more angle, and oh, taps the wall right at the end, but I don't think that's gonna impact it too much. Of course, might be a bit of a points deduction for Olaf right there because of that, but still great run overall. Definitely a solid driver to look out for in our tandems as well. And there we go. Beautiful, just consistent and into all of the zones. And the angle right here on this transition, that is what I like to see from our drivers as well. Now, on the last round, I remember there was one camera angle that I really liked that showed off the pizza that we had on that one. I wonder if I'm gonna find a similar angle on this one as well right here to pay more attention to, but oh man. Okay, honestly, all the drivers should stay like this while they're waiting for their scores. This is just such a nice look. Oh, and Moist right there, our semaphore as well, saying hi to everybody. Of course, let's not forget our people who are helping us behind the scenes right here as well. Moist on the semaphore, and of course on deliveries and all the other people, and of course the sponsors that are helping keep this going as well. Slapjā Ragana, where we are right now, and where we hope to return sometime soon as well in real life. Can't wait for the next time that we could see the E36 out there, which I hope you guys are gonna get to see sometime soon as well. But anyways, right now checking in with my brother real quick, who's practicing up. Nope, never mind. Ian Johnson, last round's top qualifier and winner. Off the line we go. Bit of a flick into the first outside zone, fills that out beautifully. Let's see if we can get a 90-point run. Great on the inside clip as well. Ooh, a bit shallow on that outside zone. Would have expected a bit more from Ian on this one, but anyways, now we're already splitting hairs with that one. Let's go on to the big outside zone. Let's ride the wall, and a bit shallower on the angle, but very deep into that zone. Hits the touch and go as well. On to the last zone, slowing down just a bit with more angle and lighting off, and not as deep as we would have expected maybe from Ian, seeing how well he did on the last round as well. Oh, apologies, it wasn't Ian, it was Mark who won. It was his teammate. I'm sorry. Well, Either way, great run from Ian overall right here. Hey, maybe Ian can get the win on this one, you know. We'll see, we'll see. Both very good driver scores from the VRA drifting team from Ireland. But yeah, great job by Ian on the first run right there. Definitely some small improvements he could have made here and there, but I think we're going to be seeing a nice and solid score on the first one. I think somewhere, if I had to guess, in the 60s. Now, of course, not a judge. Probably gonna be wrong. Would not be surprised if I was wrong. In fact, I would be more willing to bet on the fact that I am wrong on that one than right, since judging is definitely a very difficult thing to do. Of course, shout out to the judges as well. Great job by them as always, helping us out, trying to place us into our correct spots. And 62, there we go. Looks like I was right, into the 60s. And off the line as well on the second one already is Ian Johnson. Let's see if we can get into those 70 or 80 point runs. A bit of a straight line initiation, fills out that outside zone very nicely. Beautiful job on the inside clip as well. Can we get a bit deeper on this one? Yes, we can. Not bad at all. Nice and consistent, just a bit deeper than before. Staying towards the middle of this outside zone as he rides the first wall. Transitioning a bit less angle, not as snappy of a transition as we've seen before. Oh, gets a wall tap, but does save it. Barely, very close with that wall tap right there. And let's finish off the run right now with the last zone. There we go, great job by Ian. Might be a bit of a big deduction right there for hitting the wall, since that was a huge correction that he had to do off of that one. But honestly, not too shabby, not too shabby. I don't know if he's gonna get a score improvement with this one though. Definitely depends on how the judges are gonna score that tap on the wall as well. But overall, nice and consistent driving from Ian. Great to see you once again back here. And of course, one of our E46 drivers again. Seeing a nice spread of the E36s and E46s on this round. So definitely nice to see that. But yeah, this layout also, as Ed mentioned before, a nice and fast layout, but on a lot of the parts where you have to get into those outside zones, it is very easy to carry just a bit too much speed and hit those walls like I did before as well. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful adding on just maybe a bit more angle or a bit less throttle right before you get into those zones. But another great layout that we have right here. Would be nice if we could see this one in real life. Unfortunately, not really possible, since that would leave no spot for the pits, and I do believe that where the first zone is, that would be very risky in terms of getting your front tires up there and maybe even punctured if you were to initiate. But that's what we got the sim for, right? We can imagine all the layouts that we want right here, and maybe we can even see our next driver up on the line. Looks like we're waiting now for Luciano Carneiro from Team Blind from Portugal. Another E46 and a nice and white livery for him. Looking good on this one. Ooh, I like those silver accents on the white. Nice. And with the Slapjā Ragana, with a little bit of that yellow and black in there as well. Looking good on that one. So let's see how Luciano is gonna do for his first run right here. And there we go, another driver who did give us some info about himself as well to talk about on this one. But first of all, let's get that first run out of the way. Flick initiation into the first outside zone. Ooh, right on the outside of the zone. Very well done by Luciano right there. Inside clip, good job as well, hitting that as he should. Almost hits the wall, well, almost taps the wall on the outside zone right there, riding the wall. Beautiful. Towards the outside or the middle of the zone is where he stays. A nice and smooth transition, and right on the edge of the outside zone for the biggest outside zone that we have on this track right here, slowing it down for the last zone, and across the line goes Luciano. Great first run. Nice way to start things off, with him right here. So there we go. And yeah, looks like one of our drivers who does do only sim drifting, has not done any real life drifting, saying that if some of his friends let them borrow their cars, he would like to try it out. And well, I mean, it definitely does look like a driver who could put together a nice and solid run in real life as well. Now, of course, there are a decent amount of differences between driving in real life and in the sim. I've felt that on my own skin. Could not drive in real life whatsoever, but I mean, he definitely does look like a better driver than me as well, so pretty sure this guy right here could be able to put together a nice solid run in real life if he did get the chance to try. So there we go. 83. what did I say? Great run from Luciano. Puts him up in the second position right now already. And definitely solidifying his spot for the tandems, for the top 32 run tomorrow that he's gonna get already. So great job by Luciano first run, and let's wait for the second run to start right now. And off the line we go. Alright, let's see if he can improve that, maybe get into the 90 points as well. A big flick right there, fills out the outside zone 1 beautifully into the touch and go. Great job, right where he should be if I saw that correctly. And there we go, just as deep on the outside zone 2 right there as well. Rides the wall, nice and consistent on the edge of that wall. Beautiful transition, no corrections. Sets it and forgets it on the angle that he wants. Let's see that touch and go. Beautiful job by Luciano. And slowing it down for the last zone. Across the line he goes, and there we go. Great job by Luciano on his second run as well. Very nice and consistent. Might have been from Team Blind, but that man has some eyes. And there we go. Well done. Can't wait to see more of him in the tandems tomorrow as well. So yeah. Oh, reading a bit more about him, he has gotten to drive one of his friend's IS200s when he was 16. What an experience right there, getting to try drifting an IS200 at 16. That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And it was his first time driving in real life. So he also had to learn how the clutch works and how to drift and how to do everything all at once. Now, of course, not quite in the same boat, but what is in the same boat is his second run, 82 points. 83 on the first one, 82 on the second. The consistency right there from Luciano. Great job by him. Definitely going to be one of the drivers to look out for in our top 32 battles tomorrow. And looks like that's going to be it for the Group B as well. And there we have our scores right now. The top 1, 2, 3 is going to be Vitali, Luciano, and Lewis with 87, 83, and 79 points for each of them. And then, of course, at the bottom of the list, the bottom 3 drivers is, of course, me at 55, Darvis at 43, and Gundar's at 32. So, getting closer and closer to the cutoff zone, almost halfway through the top 16 right now. I'm going to be seeing in a few groups who's gonna get knocked out from this one right here. But yeah, it looks like soon we're gonna have the next group getting into the server already. Just waiting for that right now. And starting off the next group, if I do remember correctly, is gonna be my co-commentator, of course, my brother Ed. Let me check if that was the case indeed. Well, when we see the message to join the server, that's when we'll check up on that. But yeah, anyways, the info that I was talking about before, about our previous driver, for example, right there. Of course, all info that you can give us. We have a nice Excel sheet that you can fill out. Well, not an Excel sheet. We have a nice Google form that you can fill out. Give us some more info to talk about while we see you drive, and you know, just give us something more to chat about. Like for example, right there, Luciano just now at 16 got to drive for the first time and drift for the first time, both all at once, which definitely must have been a bit of an overload in terms of the senses. But looks like we already have some people in the server. Maybe the next group is joining. Did they join? I don't see anything yet. Oh, looks like the message is about to be sent. And looks like our next group is going to be joining the server momentarily. Let me get my brother into the server real quick as well. There it is. And is it time for the next group? There is no message to join yet. Well, anyways, getting him into the server right now so I can get back to commentating for all of you lovely people as well. And there we go. Did I see Ian's livery? Or Mark's livery, I mean. Oh no, now I'm gonna get it the other way around. Now I'm gonna say that Ian won again. go. All right. So yeah, looks like we have our last round's winner, Mark, on the server right now, if I can see that correctly. Driving right there. Oh, and initiating across the line. Do I see an RTRiga driver livery as well? Might be it, might be just that indeed. Alright, so anyways, let me pull up the chat and let's see how all of our viewers are doing on this one. Maybe we got some drivers in the chat as well. Let me pull it up real quick so I can talk with all of you. There we go, chat is back up. Oh yeah, we got Mark in chat. He was cheering up Ian when I mixed up their names. But yeah, so, how are y'all doing? How many drivers do we have in here? And what do you think about this track? What are your feelings on this one? Personally, I really like it. I mean, I've liked all the layouts so far. The last one, for me, felt a bit too tricky with how little time I got. This layout felt... I would say easier to get the hang of. Now, of course, definitely did not, at least I didn't get the hang of it well enough to, I would say, qualify for top 32. At least I think so. But definitely did seem like a track that did flow very, very nice. A lot of near misses right now on the track as well, as it's filling up. Everybody's trying to get their last laps in before qualifying. Oh, almost had a crash, both of them just teleporting out of there immediately. What's that green livery? I like how that one looks. And speaking, of course, of the liveries, as always, shout out to Moist, providing, I don't think all, but most, the vast majority of the liveries right here for all of our drivers as well. Everybody getting themselves a livery from Moist if they don't have one of their own already, so of course thank you to him. Keeping our cars looking nice and fresh on the track. A bit of a line starting at the start line right now. And looks like we're going to be seeing a bunch of cars on the track as well, going through the laps. Let's see if everybody's going to be able to make it through without any contact. Looking nice and smooth so far. Oh, getting close. Ooh, okay, but saved it. Very nice, very nice. Yes. Okay, last few crossovers. There we go. Hey, nice job, everyone. No crashes, no nothing. Beautiful, beautiful. So it looks like we're at least seeing the amount of consistency for everybody to finish the laps, you know. Not too many drivers who are not managing to get both runs in, which is also great, you know. You love to see at least some points for yourself right off the line as well, of course. Right now, though, not even close to that cutoff zone right here, so gonna take us a while to get up to that one. We've got 46 drivers today, so not a lot of drivers who are gonna be knocked out of this one. So actually might be seeing some of those maybe lower scores getting into the tandems as well. Of course, everything depends on the remaining drivers that we have right here. If we are looking at the median, though, median? Was that the right word? Either way, most of the runs over 60 points already, so it does seem like the cutoff could be somewhere at around the 60 zone. If I had to guess, I'm gonna guess, of course, at a solid 69. What else are you supposed to guess? That is the one and only score that you should guess. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. And there we go, getting drivers a lot of time to practice before their next runs, which is good. Ooh, another close one. Now, our first driver of the line is indeed going to be Ed from Racing Team Riga, one of our commentators, who did not fill out the Excel. Now, if only there was some way for me to know anything about him. He's been drifting for, right now, I would say about, what, 4 years? What do you think, Ed? How long have you been driving for?
At least 7.
7 years, really?
Yeah, I've been sim drifting for a long time with brakes in the middle.
So there we go, has been sim drifting for 7 years with some breaks in the middle here and there, and of course not driving as much as some of our other drivers who are towards the top of the list, because everybody knows you need thousands and thousands and thousands of laps to get up there. But I have followed personally his growth in terms of drifting, and throughout the years, definitely, if there's anything I can tell you, is that practice makes you better. I remember when we first started drifting, when I first saw him try to go for the first laps trying to drift, it was so difficult to pull it together, because he was one of the people who, well, didn't get to drift, but he did drive in real life, you know, just normal real life driving before getting behind the wheel of the sim, so definitely did need some adjustment before he could get some solid laps down as well. But as they say, practice makes you perfect. Well, let me get some water real quick. What I have noticed though, we don't have any 69s. Is this group gonna change that? I remember the last round we had, that was right next to the cutoff, and we had I think 4 people who had that exact score right here. On this one, we've had one run that was very close by Solomon. Tried to start it off right, you know, was our very first driver off the line, got that 70-point run, you know, just 1 point too high. Although that 1 point might be what decides whether he gets into the tandems or not as well. Looks like we're going to be going back to pits, so we're going to be getting into the next group, Group C right here, and our first driver of the lineup. Still got someone on the track, and there we go, track is clear. Gonna have our first driver going up to the line, which is going to be Edwards Redmanis. Going to be representing, of course, RT Riga, and hopefully setting some solid runs to start off this group right here. Now, of course, the biggest goal for him right now is setting a score that's higher than, oh, what did I have? Was it 55? That is top priority right here. Getting into the tandems, you know, who cares about that, you know? What matters for him, of course, is qualifying higher than me, so let's see if he can manage to pull it off on the line and getting ready right now. 3, 2, 1, and let's go with Ed off the line. Going for the flick initiation. A bit shallow on the first outside zone, now transitioning onto the inside clip, a bit too deep on that one as well. Let's see if he can hit the outside zone. Ooh, just barely getting into that one, but staying nice and consistent, no big corrections. A nice wall ride right there, great job getting out into that one as well. Let's see if we can ride the big wall, and right there on the outside of the outside zone. Beautiful job, hits touch and go as well. Now let's see if we can slow it down at the end to finish off the lap, and yes we can, there we go. Points on the first run, and not bad at all by Ed on the first one. Of course, definitely could have some improvements. The first part of the track, you know, a bit shallow in the first outside zones, but later on cleaning it up right here. I would say from this point onwards, it was very solid from Ed. Yeah, not seeing too many corrections. Nice angle, sets it in there. Just shallows it up just a bit towards the end of this one, maybe. No, not even really a shallow there. So yeah, great job overall. I do think he scored higher than me on this one already. So yeah, I'll have to concede that one. But of course, still waiting for the score to drop in for Ed. Starting off our Group C right now. Hasn't made it into the tandems so far this season, so it would be nice to see him battle it out as well in the top 32 tomorrow. would actually make it a bit more complicated for us since we do have to cast as well, but hey, you know, if one of us gets to battle, I think the other one is completely fine with the setup being a bit compromised for that. Anyways, judges considering, thinking what they want to give Ed for this first run right here. Ooh, a great question by Nauris in chat. Will Ed get into the top 32 for this round? I mean, this first run did look pretty solid, I would say. If I had to guess, that run was somewhere in the 60s. Looking at the replay again. Oh, see, he says he was going for the 69. So we're looking at the replay again, so looks like the judges could not quite see something right off the bat. I wonder what they're looking at specifically for this one right here. Didn't seem to me like he did any big corrections or anything. So maybe just, you know, finalizing the few zones. He did of course miss that outside zone. Let's see which one is it. It's outside zone 2 that he just barely nicked with the tire. Yeah, I remember that now. Oh, but there we go. First run, 56 points. Oh, off the line he goes for the second run right here. All right, let's see. A big flick to start things off and shallows out of the first outside zone. Let's see what we can do on the inside clip. Not bad at all. Hits that just fine. And, oh, misses the outside zone just barely right there. Let's see if we can get up to the wall. Not bad. Into the middle of the zone. Holds it together nice and smooth. And let's see the big wall ride. Staying into the zone. A bit of corrections right there. Just moving the steering wheel a bit left and right to shimmy himself into that correct spot. And, ooh, taps the wall across the line. So, don't know if that was much of an improvement, but I think he has 1 point more than I do. Which, honestly, unforgivable. Unforgivable. But, yeah, so, now on this one, might get a bit close. With the first run being a 56, ooh, might be on the cutoff again, if I'm being honest with you, but hope you'll not mess up this one. Well, I mean, this one is quite a smooth one, you know. If you set yourself up for the next corner properly from the how do I say this correctly? Basically, what determines how you go through the whole track is how you set yourself up on the previous corner. It feels like almost the whole track depends on how the previous corner has gone. And the second run, 41, so yeah, and did not manage to improve his run unfortunately on the second one, but still, great job by Ed, getting points on both of his runs and putting together scored runs, both first and second one. Unfortunately didn't get to improve his run and didn't get to solidify a spot in the top 32, so gotta be looking at the next runs very carefully. Next driver off the line already goes Bartosz from Poland. No team, but a red E36 initiating deep into the zone. Hits the touch and go as well, a bit too deep in that one. And going into the outside zone too, not bad at all. Fills that zone out nicely. Let's see that first wall ride, very consistent. Some little corrections here and there, but nothing big, like just barely any corrections whatsoever. And great job through the big outside zone as well. Hits the touch and go. And let's move on to the last one. Slow it down just a bit with a lot more angle. Whoa, maybe just a bit too much angle from Bartosz at the end. But overall, great job on the first run. Looking solid with a nice and aggressive flick initiation right there. Beautiful, beautiful. Right up against the wall. Oh, that wall, well, not the wall. I guess the outside zone would be more the right word for that. Either way, great job by Bartosz with that E36. A bit more of a simpler livery right here, going for the red and white. Almost got the Latvian flag, you know. Just go a bit darker shade of red, narrow down that white line and stretch it all the way across the car, and you got a nice Latvian flag right there. Alright, Nauris saying that he has some nice practice as well. Oh, wait a minute. 68 on the board for Bartosz on the first run. I would have expected the 70s in there as well, but hey, I'm not a judge, and we are off the line for the second run. Yet another aggressive initiation. Ooh, even more aggressive than on the first one. Great job on the first outside zone. Inner clip as well. Beautiful. Just a hair too deep on that one. Transitioning on to outside zone 3, 2. Anyways, transitioning on to the wall. Right now is Bartosz staying nice and consistent yet again. Beautiful, beautiful job. A great run. Right next to the wall as well. I mean, what else can you really say? Very few corrections, very nice and solid line. And let's see if he can improve this last zone. Oh yeah, definitely okay on the last outside zone. A big improvement right there. On the first run, he did have a little bit of a checkup on that one right there. But now, great angle and a great way to end off the lap. So let's check out that replay. As Ed is also returning to the casting.
Oh yeah. I gotta say, it's quite a cinema moment to beat you by 1 single point.
Yeah, that one stings. That stings. I'll be honest with you.
And yeah, you're definitely right. It doesn't matter if I get into tandems. The most important thing is to be better than your brother.
Everybody who has siblings knows that.
Exactly.
But anyways, more importantly, right now, Bartosz had a great run on the first one with a 68. I do think he did improve it a bit as well with the second run. Let's see if he can get into those 70s right now. And indeed he does. 77. Great improvement by Bartosz on the second run. Good job. Definitely should be seeing him in the tandems tomorrow as well with that 77. But hey, anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Anything interesting that I missed in the rest of Group B?
Not that much really. I mean, consistent runs, like hopefully this next one from Rainer right here off the line already from Estonia, initiating into outside zone 1. Beautiful job. A bit of a flick right there. Hits the inside clip as well, just a bit too deep on that inside clip. Outside zone 2, barely gets into the outside zone 2, riding the wall outside zone 3. A bit shallower right there on that one. Transitioning on to the big wall right now. The big wall ride is gonna be shallow as well, not seeing as much speed or as much commitment as we would want from Rainer right now. Last outside zone. Let's see if we can finish it and get some points on the line though. On the line?
On the board.
On the board. There we go. And yes, we can. Rainer finishes the run. Right here, seeing, yeah, a bit shallow. I mean, the start was nice. The initiation was good. Here, a bit too deep. And then from this point on, just a bit shallower than what we would have liked to see.
Yeah, it did feel like he was going to over-rotate after the inside clip. So he did definitely lose some speed there. And coming up to outer zone 3, he couldn't fully fill it, unfortunately. And here in outer zone 5, as we see, he's also struggling to get in the zone, but does hit the touch and go and does hit the last outer zone as well. Definitely getting him some points on the board.
Off the line for the second run already, 61 points on the first run, and for the second run we go. Nice deep initiation on the first outside zone as well, and goes deeper into the inside clip on this one, but he does set himself up just a bit better for that outside zone too, and into the wall with a lot of angle, has to make corrections and taps the wall and straightens out. Unfortunate error right there by Rainer, but gotta finish his score, you know. If you're already on the track, might as well let the rest of the run go through. And yeah, looking decent for the rest of the run, but unfortunately that big mistake right there. Oh, and the angle at the end. Oh, Rainer. And there we go, already got that 0 in before the second run ended.
Putting on a good show at the very end, throwing some massive angle for the last outside zone. He did clip the inside clip, you could see it going through his front bumper. Look at this massive transition into outer zone 4, but somehow, I don't know, couldn't stay in big angles, so he went a bit too fast and he went in the wall.
Yeah, tried to slow down by using more angle, but unfortunately went a bit too aggressive on the angle, had to shallow out, but yeah, couldn't quite do it in time.
And next up we're gonna have Marko Rourke, the winner of our previous race. He did have a perfect event the last time. Let's see if he can repeat it as well. Already off the line, and a big flick initiation and a massive angle into outer zone 1, completely filling it. Coming up to the inside clip, perfect clear of it. Nice line into outer zone 3, filling it very well as well. Coming up into 4, riding the bumper on the wall and taps it a little bit, doesn't completely invalidate his run. He's able to do a small correction and get back on it. Now going through the long outside zone already, perfect for the touch and go. Coming up to the last zone, could be a bit deeper. Wheels somewhere in the middle of the last outside zone, and probably not the perfect run, not the best form that we've seen from Mark so far, but still a decent run. We do have some issue with our Discord, but it's just an issue with the app. So no worries, we're right there.
There we go.
Didn't disappear anywhere.
So yeah, some corrections right there by Mark, you know, not quite what we expected from our top qualifier of the last.
Yeah, it's
event.
the 67 points. Let's see if he can improve it for the second run, because he definitely needs it. Decent initiation into outer zone 1 and nice on the inside clip as well. Now going over to outer zone 3, big angle after the transition, fills the zone very well. Into outer zone 4, no wall taps this time, scrubbing the bumper on the wall, leaving the tire marks on his rear bumper. Wow, what a line into outer zone 5, right on the edge of the track. Clears the touch and go as well, and coming into the outer zone number 7, a little bit of a small, tiny microscopic correction in there, but clears it perfectly. Good proximity to the border, to the edges of the track, I would say. Good run, definitely must be an improvement. I didn't see that big of a mistake. There was no wall tap, so there was no need for it. Definitely better run than the previous one.
Back on the stream. There we go. 76 points for the second run right there for Mark. And there we go. Yeah, looks like solid enough to get him into the top 32 tomorrow, hopefully. But definitely not the performance that he presented last time. Maybe didn't get quite as much practice for this round as he did for the previous one. Of course, we did get to see his run as the example run. I mean, that one looked great. But yet again, we're all human. Nobody's perfect, you know. Not everybody can perform at 100% every day, but let's see if Zydrunas is going to be able to do that right now. Our Lithuanian driver off the line, initiating in the first outside zone, shallowing it out of the first zone before it is over, hits that inside clip very nicely, transitioning on to the outside zone 2, hits the zone just barely with one of his wheels, maybe with both of them, but rides the wall nice and deep with a bit less angle, transitioning on to the biggest zone that we have right here, the outside zone. Beautiful, staying into the middle of the line, nice and consistent, not as much angle as we've seen from some of the other drivers, but staying very nice and consistent on the line and the angle, and taps the wall right there before the finish line. Not bad. Good job on the first run.
Yeah, that's an easy way to straighten out after the finish line. Could have hit the outside zone 1 a bit better. He did leave it a bit early, but the rest of the track looked pretty solid, leaving a little bit of the zone fill to be desired into outer zone 3 as well. Decent on outer zone 4. His car looks like is a bit of a soft on the setup side, but still manages to get through it with no problem. Hitting the touch and go, it's okay, you don't have to completely fill it, you just have to hit it. And a bump at the very end just before the finish line, and it's 48 points for the first run. Let's see if he can clean all that up on the second one. Already off the line with smoking tires, and again missing most of outer zone 1 with a big angle coming over the inside clip. Now good transition onto outer zone 3, fills it halfway through, going into outer zone 4 right now, also fills it halfway through, quite close to the wall, but you can see that the rear end of the E36 is quite big. Good feel on the outer zone 5, now coming into the touch and go, a tiny correction there just before the touch and go, and now in the last zone again tapping the wall, but this time doesn't change his angle even the slightest bit, just sends him across the finish line.
Yeah, on that initiation on the first outside zone, I definitely can see how people could be missing that one just a bit, you know, had the same issue. It's difficult to get that initiation correct to where like you don't wash out of it and you don't start moving a bit forward, you know. You need more of like the how do I even describe it? You need to just move sideways more before you start moving
Yeah.
forward into the next outside zone. So
Yeah.
it's very, very easy to set yourself up incorrectly for that one. So yeah, seeing some of the other drivers also struggling with that a bit. By Zidrunos right now, waiting for that second score. Oh, this camera view, this looks so good. An improvement.
53, nice, welcome on the board. We do not see which position he's in right now because our top 10 is already 64 points. Do you,
Somewhere around 14 to 16.
do you have any
somewhere there, I
guesses
think.
on what the drop zone's gonna be?
Well, of course, you have to go for the classic, you know.
Oh,
the
yeah,
classic
of course,
69.
of
but,
course.
I mean, honestly, I'm thinking this could be low 60s. Off the line we go with Arkadiusz from Poland, though, in a nice E36, initiating with a bit of a flick, gets into the first outside zone, fills that zone out nicely, shallowing it out just a bit towards the end, middle of the touch and go, and almost up to the wall on the outside zone too, transitioning over to the wall, and beautiful wall ride. Well done, well done. Let's see that big zone now. Oh, a bit of a correction to get into that zone, but sets himself up very nicely after the correction, fills out the whole zone, hits the touch and go as well, slowing it down just a bit for the end. Yes, indeed we are.
Ooh.
Beautiful, beautiful job by Arkadiusz Michniak from Poland.
Another driver who loves to put a big angle, as we see. Nice aggressive initiation into outer zone 1. Could be a bit closer to the inside clip there, but look at the angle here. Good on outer zone 3, completely setting it up perfectly for all the zones. He doesn't have to do any corrections to go through 3 and 4.
But here,
Yeah, a little bit of a correction here, but gets back on it. At least it wasn't like a sharp correction, it was a smooth correction, but nevertheless, it's a correction.
Yeah, seemed to me like he got up to angle a bit too fast, and that's why he had to shallow out,
Yeah.
just so that he would hit that outside zone. But a nice correction, well done right there.
Yeah.
Of course, going to be a bit of a point deduction, but still very solid run overall, I would say.
Yeah, I did also really like the angle at the last outside zone. Wasn't maybe the best proximity, but it's 63 for the first run. Let's see if he can fix all those mistakes in the second one, coming in with a flick initiation with massive angle into outer zone 1 already. No corrections going through the inside clip, way better than previously. Still good angle and good line in outer zone 3, and look at the line in outer zone 4, completely fills the zone, transitioning over into outer zone 5, not touching the wall this time, but a little bit of a correction, and stays a bit shallow all the way throughout the zone. Now hitting the touch and go, front brakes glowing, coming into outer zone 7, throwing some big angle across the finish line for outer zone 7.
Yeah, unfortunately, could see in the spot where he messed up on the last run, getting a bit too conservative right there. You know, not quite as deep as he wanted to be, and yet again a bit of an error right there. But the rest of the run looking great. I mean, look at the angle coming into this turn right here. This is looking good.
Yeah, I love the
great
confidence.
job.
That outer zone 4 was just beautiful, textbook. But unfortunately, I don't know what happened here. Because if you take the zone previously very well, then that sets up you for the next zone, and it didn't happen this time.
Exactly.
Error in transition, most likely.
Yeah, but looking like one of the drivers who could score into the 70s. Will this score into the 70s right here? I don't know. It might be close, you know.
Yeah.
Now these runs are the ones where it's very easy as a spectator to see the points wrong, because we don't have all the camera angles and everything that the judges do, you know, so we might miss some of those smaller corrections that could have been done here and there, you know. So let's just wait and see.
I'm calling it. It's a 69.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I like the confidence, and that would place him on the 10th position right here.
Oh yeah.
Right now, actually, with the 63, yeah, he should be 11th or 12th, somewhere there. I don't remember if we had any other 63s or 64s.
I don't think we did. It might be the first.
Yeah, should pull up the leaderboard whenever we see it. Have to save it real quick for ourselves as well.
Yeah, we definitely feel like we need the third screen in here.
Yeah, honestly, for the next events, I might just take another screen with
yeah, yeah, that might be really good.
me. Yeah,
We'll need to find a way to set it up. And what's happening there? We didn't see the score for his second run, did we?
Not yet.
No. Interesting.
Looks like we missed it.
Yeah.
Well, right now on the line is going to be Armand Westmanis. There we go. It's going to be. It was 63, so there we go. Pretty much the same result right here. Off the line already with Armand Westmanis. Let's go. Representing Racing Team Riga, one of our Great drivers right here initiating off the line. Great job on the first outside zone onto the inside clip. Beautiful, beautiful by Armāns Vesmans right now. Turning it outside zone 2. Good job, nice angle, solid. Not seeing really any corrections whatsoever. Rides the wall. Very, very great and nice and snappy transition into the big outside zone right now. There we go, just a bit of wavering right there for which spots of the zone he was in, but nothing major. Good job by Armāns. A left foot brake right there to slow it down on the last zone, and over the line we go.
Classic Armāns run.
We go.
Textbook, perfect. Really nice aggressive flicks. Look at this angle. I think that's the biggest angle we've seen today. Yeah, he's completely trusting his skills, trusting his car.
A lot of commitment, exactly what we want to see. I mean, look at this outside zone.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. And here as well. At the first point of this one, yeah, I think he wasn't quite as deep as he was later on, you know, getting into the zone, getting himself settled into the zone properly, but taps the wall on the touch and go as well. I don't think I've seen that so far today.
Yeah, I think we've seen one, and also he went like he clipped with his rear in the bumper on the end there. It luckily didn't hit it, so he basically must have been just on the limit.
Yeah, skipped
of
that
hitting
one.
it.
Missed that one. Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. So great run.
75, nice. Let's see if he can bring himself higher up on the board, because 75 at the moment is only 8th place, as he's already off, and a big flick initiation and massive angle into outer zone 1 again. Very smooth and stable, super close to the inside clip, basically touching it. Wow, just on the wall into the outer zones 3 and 4 as well. This is perfect. This is like a pre-recorded test run almost. Perfect on outer zone 5 this time around as well. Wow, clipping in the wall and hitting it a little bit into the touch and go, coming into the last outer zone, and again same. Wow, this was
so few errors here and there, from what I saw.
Yeah.
Great initiation, but here on the first inside clip he did go just a bit too deep right there. You could see that, but still makes up for it. Great outside
I don't
zone
think he went
there.
too deep. I think he just touched it. He went like 0.1.
Transitioning
inside
to the next zone right now. I mean, here he stays nice and consistent, but look at the touch and go. He does tap the wall. He has to do some corrections right here. A little bit of a correction from what I saw, but
might be just a little bit of a shallow angle coming into it, because I really didn't see any changes in the angle of the car. So it's an 86.
There we go. Huge improvement by Armāns on the second run. All right, there. Great job, putting him in the second position right now. So our top 3 right now is going to be Vitali, Armāns and Luciano right now, 87, 86 and 83. So getting the top 3 drivers already in the 80s. Let's see if we can manage to get to a point where maybe all 10 of the top 10 is going to be up in the 80s. But more importantly, no 90-point runs yet.
Yeah, do we even have a driver that is capable of putting on a 90-point run left?
I do believe there's plenty of drivers who can do it. The thing is, can they control their nerves? Can they get the correct run together at the correct time?
You're right,
Up on the line now, though, Vaidas Šipaila from Lithuania, representing Team Aros Marine. Getting up to the line, 3, 2, 1, and off the line we go with a nice teal E36 initiation. Flicking into that initiation right there. Good job on the outside zone 1. Into the inside clip, great job right there as well. Outside zone 2, fills it out nicely, and into the first wall ride, nice and consistent, beautiful. Not seeing any corrections onto the wall as well by Vaidas. Let's see that big zone, gets into the zone nice and smooth, and hits the outside, well, touch and go as well. Almost hits the wall on that one. Slows it down with a lot of angle at the end, and a great first run by Vaidas right there. Good job.
Pretty solid. I love the realism factor of one front panel being a different color. That's definitely a +1 for me.
Yep.
Might not be the most visually pleasing, but you know, this is how it is in real life.
It adds the realism, But yeah, speaking of the run itself, I mean, not really seeing too many corrections. You know, maybe in some of the zones he could have been just a bit deeper, but I mean, overall, that looked very solid from Vaidas right there.
Yeah, very solid run.
Great job.
Indeed. Not hesitating on anything. I didn't really see much braking from him as well. The tires were smoking all the way through the track.
Exactly. Staying consistent and committed. That is what we want to see in these street cars. You know, street class, you could definitely stay way more committed and way more on throttle. And with that, 78 points.
Good stuff. Puts himself up in 5th place for the moment, and let's go for the second run. Let's see if he can place himself even higher than that. Going with a big flick initiation, completely filling outer zone 1 with massive angle coming up to the inside clip. Clips it a little bit with his front, but perfect into outer zone number 3. A little bit of a left foot brake to set him up into outer zone 4. A bit shallow on it. Might be a bit of a correction, not perfect there, but oh, hitting the wall into outer zone 5 has to do a big correction to stay in it. Coming up to the touch and go very close with a bit of a shallower angle, but still hits it perfect. A massive angle into outer zone 7 and hits the wall and exits outer zone 7 earlier, but still does manage to get it across the finish line. Doesn't straighten out, doesn't crash out, doesn't go outside of the track. Definitely a scored run, but yeah, quite a few mistakes here and there. That is what's gonna cost you points.
Not quite as good as the first run. I don't think it's an improvement. Definitely not an improvement, I would say. But the first run already very solid. So just trying to go to the walls to the maximum as much as he can to see if he can even improve the first run. You already pretty much set for qualifying in terms of making it to top 32. Might as well try and go for as much of a.
And he gets the perfect score.
You know what? He did improve it.
Yeah.
I was wrong. Apologies.
He definitely improved it. That's one of the magic numbers. We're not seeing him yet on this board, but oh no, he didn't score a 79.
But we have our standings right here. So there we go. 22 drivers right now that are on the list for us right here. Starting off, of course, at the top, Vitali 87, Armans 86, Luciano 83, and finishing off the list with Zidrunas, Darvis, and Gundars with 53, 43, and 32 right there. So, of course, some of our lower points runs, but either way, depending on how the next drivers do, even some of those lower points might make it into the top 32 as well. Depends on how many drivers show up, depends on how those drivers themselves do as well. But of course, it's open.
It's open. Don't worry, we have it open.
Yeah. All right. So had a bit of communication right there with our people behind the scenes, and we are back. So right now, the standings. We have two Latvian drivers in the top 3. Am I seeing that correctly? Wait a minute, Luciano is a Latvian?
Luciano is probably not Latvian.
That does not seem like a Latvian name to me, I'll be honest with you. So I do wonder if that is correct.
Yeah, it's probably just a small mistake in the data.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that we have 3 different countries representing the top 3 right now. So there we go. Luciano from Portugal. So we have Ukraine, Latvia, and Portugal in our top 3 right now. So representing from the 3 different countries as well. Great to see that. Great to see drivers from all over the world.
You know what it means that our scores are just 1 point away? That if we qualify, we don't go against each other.
True.
Yeah, unless we're like middle of the pack something.
Okay, you know what? I can see it in my head already.
We're meeting up the finals.
The cutoff is gonna be 56 points and I'm gonna be 33rd. It's rigged. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be the first one to tell you.
Well,
no.
I know how that feels to be in the 33rd spot. You do remember that already. I've placed 33rd in one event already. That has been my highest position yet so far.
Well, yeah, neither of us have made it into tandem so far, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like drivers could be going back to pits already.
No, probably just resetting because of the crash.
Yeah, never mind. Oh. Is that lots that I'm seeing right there on the track, right? Was that the yellow one?
If I remember correctly, there's multiple drivers using this livery as well, his teammates as well.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not too good with names, but I'm slowly starting to remember some of the people by the liveries that they have.
Yeah.
Basically the only way that I can actually try to remember some of the people.
Speaking of Matis, do you know whose name date is today?
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see if he can use that extra bit of good luck that it brings him.
Exactly.
And get himself a nice score for the qualifying.
Yep.
For those who don't know, we do have a tradition in Latvia that we celebrate name days. Basically, every day in the calendar has some names assigned to it.
Oh, and there we go. Looks like we have our next driver who's going to be up on the line. It's going to be Nauris for the next group as well. But for him, we do actually have some info as well. So there we go. One of our drivers who did fill out the list and who did give us some info to talk about. So before that though, let me do this real quick. And there we go. So let's see what info we have on Nauris. Those walls are hard, Armand says in chat. Yeah, Armand, I mean, I agree. I hit one of those walls just a bit too much and yeah, didn't quite get to finish my second run. But yeah, very easy to mess up on the wall rides on this track here.
Yeah. You see, now this is also an E36 touring driver.
My man,
Yeah.
my man. Yeah, respect, you know. I don't think he's going to be listening to us right now as he's getting ready, you know, but hey, once he's back in the chat, I'll have to shout him out for that, you know.
Absolutely.
Got to respect, got to shout out my E36 wagon brothers, you know. Not seeing a lot of those on the streets anymore, you know, but now that I have gotten mine, I'm seeing more and more of them.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a phenomenon that everybody has noticed. Whenever you get a car, you start seeing a lot more of that specific car.
Oh yeah, and let's hope he doesn't repeat his mistake of tapping the wall in same track in Slapjā Ragana, which he has done with his IRL car as well. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
Hey,
What we just seen.
if there's any spot for that to happen, I would hope that that is in the sim, you
Well,
know?
of course,
You
but
gotta get those wall taps and the crashes out in the sim before you get to the real track. you
yeah,
know?
but it can send you off the beaten path of
Oh,
the
yeah.
line that you're going for. You
Oh,
know,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's better to leave the walls alone, better not to poke at them,
I do agree.
or they're gonna poke back at you and send you off.
Yep. Go. So, pre-race routine. Looks like for now, it's right here, just, you know, have a ciggy or two, listen to some music, chill out. Which, of course, great way to get yourself into the zone and ready for some driving, which I think might be happening right now. I see that the track is empty, so let's see if he managed to get himself into the zone as well for the first run. Let's see if he can get a solid run.
There is.
Start things off. There he is, Nauris Žmuida on the line representing Team AMS, one of our Latvian drivers right here. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Starting off with that E36, straight line initiation, goes out on the first outside zone, hits that zone very nicely. Some corrections right there onto the inside clip, goes a bit too deep on that one, but nice job on the next outside zone too. Let's see that first wall ride, and adding out a lot of angle right before the wall right there, and a big transition onto the next outside zone. Great job staying into the zone, just some small corrections here and there, not quite into the same spot of the zone the whole time, but does manage to hit the touch and go as well. Slows down just a bit for the last zone. Beautiful job at the end, right there, seeing some corrections, you know, getting those nerves out of the way with the initiation and with these first few corners. Let's see what happened here at the start. So as I see, he put on too much angle, correction,
Yeah.
another correction, and then he got through the zone. So yeah, not quite what he wanted, but honestly, other than that start, the rest of the run looking very solid, very solid. Could add some more angles here and there, you know, could add some more not proximity, but get a bit deeper into some of those zones. But overall, I mean, good way to start things off for the next group.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, some bigger transition, not transition, but angle changes while in the zone already. I don't think that is really good for you, for your run, for your points. Judges definitely want to see you keep the same angle all throughout the zone, not to change it. And he sets a 66 for his first run. So let's see if he can get it smoother and with less corrections on the second one. 3, 2, 1, green light and go. Running in, tires already smoking, and a bit of a different initiation this time, but completely fills outer zone 1. A bit better on the inside clip, actually really good on the inside clip. Going into outer zone 3, wow, that was really close to the wall. Clipping through it almost, way better onto outer zone 4, smoother, not changing the angle in the middle of it, and loses a lot of angle before outer zone 5, and that is a big correction, almost a double initiation there. going into the touch and go and coming up to the last zone with some massive angle. Doesn't completely feel it at the start, but at the end of it gets to the line.
Yeah, combine those two runs and I would say you have a solid 75-point run right there. I mean, look at the start right here, doing a better job than he was before. This outside zone, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
That was nice, that was nice. And on this one as well, great job, but unfortunately he did mess up a bit right here on this transition. Let's see what happened right there. Choked
I don't
up
know,
a bit
yeah.
and oh, I do wonder if they're gonna... If that's gonna be just a massive deduction, or if that's gonna zero him out for that second run.
No, he wasn't
already.
completely
I
straight,
Think he
no.
was. Yeah, I don't think he was completely straight. I think he should be fine in terms of scoring some points. But I think that
No, it's a zero.
It was. Yep, counts as a second initiation right there. So fortunately did straighten. But hey, that 66-point run. Once again close. Once again close. You know, could be on the cutoff. Could be on the cutoff, but gonna be a close one. Gonna be a close one right there. So yeah, I mean, great job I would say on the first one, you know, some small errors here and there, but looking nice and consistent, you know, one of the drivers who's also just trying to make it to the tandems. Let's see, oh, looking at the replay again, all right, looks like it might not be a zero yet, so judge is still thinking, still seeing what is up with that second run. I mean, great job right there, you know, great job on this next zone as well. Unfortunate with this mistake that he did right here, and
Yeah. I do love the aggression that he put up all the way through the run. He definitely wasn't afraid to go harder at it.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
put it just right on the wall, but really unfortunate checking up into outer zone number 5.
Unfortunately messed up right there the last outside zone as well because of that, so either way, even if he does score points, I don't think it's gonna be really an improvement from the previous one, but yet again, gotta be close for him, hopefully making it to that top 32, you know, but with 66 points on the first run, ooh, might be very close.
Yeah, that is a nail-biter score. You have to basically sit through all of the qualifying and hope that you get in it, and if you do, then that's going to be on the pretty low side of the scores anyways. At least that's what I guess. Well, let's see. We did see the replay again. Now we're, I guess, waiting on points. The layout for that is unfortunately not showing, so we don't know what is the score for the second run.
Up, and there's Naurus in the chat. So he messed up because someone joined the server. Oh, mid-run.
Mid-run,
So it was a technical issue. Looks like it was a technical issue then.
Yeah, you probably could protest. You probably could protest immediately after your run is over and get a rerun in that case.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
as
don't know
your
how that works, I'll be
yeah.
honest, I don't know.
as the score is not yet announced, probably still has time to do the protest because the score is still not in.
But yeah, that's very unfortunate, you know, experiencing technical issues because of people joining or leaving the server. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely not what anybody's hoping for during their runs, you know.
Yeah, and I could definitely believe that that's what caused it because the outer zone 4, the zone before, he felt just perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And he looked like he's setting himself up for a really good transition into the next zone, and then just I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
It just like
Yeah.
you know.
Until that point, the run was looking very solid.
Yeah.
Of course, it was still half of the lap that was left, you know, but if he continued on the same way for the rest of the run, I think that would have been an improvement.
Oh yeah. Well, if that sort of thing happens, maybe nerves can play the worst of it.
Definitely. Checking
Yeah.
out the replay once again, all right. Really trying to understand what happened
See, he's
here.
definitely improving here on the inside
Yep,
clip on the
definitely.
first
And
zone.
this one. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Great job right there by Naurus.
Improving here as well. No big angle change in the middle of the zone, and here is just something, you know.
Yeah.
And he has to save it. He somehow manages to save it even. That is wonderful. You have to have a really fast reaction time to recover from something like this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So good job on the correction. Unfortunate that it happened, you know. Let's wait and see what the judges are going to be deciding on in the end. Bit of a weird situation, you know. Don't get to see a lot of those happening. Fortunately, you know. Fortunately, not seeing that happen too often.
Oh yeah.
There we go, yo. Now, by the way, since you're back, I see that you're also an E36 wagon owner. Respect, my man, respect. And also that you went to Ragana with it. My man, my man.
Oh yeah. So From your point of view, do you think having experienced the full track day with your car helped you to be better at sim drifting now? Do you think that impacted you in any way?
With the driving I did, no. Let me get a few more things fixed on the car. You know, I got the front right that's rubbing a bit. I think I have to replace something for the steering right there because it's rubbing a bit too much and it wasn't before. So you know, need to do some improvements for the car. You know, I hope on the next track day everything's gonna go smooth and then I can answer that question. But so far, the only thing that I will say, sim feels easier now.
You're right. Yes, I
Even though I
agree.
didn't get proper laps and I didn't get any proper drifting done, like I would say that I just slid around, you know, and just had some fun there at the track, you know. That what I did was not drifting. Still, sim feels a lot easier now.
Exactly. I said exactly the same thing after my first track experiences. And we still don't have Nauris score for the second run.
Sim made you better at real life drifting. See, but that's the difference, right? I started sim before I got to drive in real life. So that's the big difference between us, for example, you know?
Yeah, and it looks like Nauris is going to run his second run again as he's lined up on the start-finish line. No, on the start line again. Lights are green, he's ready to go. Doing a bit of a different handbrake initiation, looks like at this point. Fills outer zone 1 nicely, good on the inside clip, a little bit too deep, a few centimeters. Good on outer zone 3, not as perfect as the last time around, doesn't scrape the bumper on the wall, but decent proximity to the edge of the track in zone 4. Now coming into zone 5 and we see no mistakes here, a little bit of a correction at the end of the zone. Hits the wall in the touch and go, and massive angle coming into outer zone 7, very aggressive across the finish line.
What a run, what a run. Yeah, that looked interesting. I mean, overall, was it an improvement, was it not? I mean, here he was a bit too deep. On this next zone right here, you know, just a bit too shallow as well. But yeah, overall, I mean, looking like a solid run. I don't know if it was much of an improvement from that 66-point run that he had at first. Like here as well, looking nice and smooth, but there.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly, correction right there. Gets into the touch and go really nicely though, and does have a bit more of a straight approach to that last zone, and yeah, just barely managed to save it.
That was crazy.
But there we go, yeah. So we're gonna be getting a score right here for Nauris in a bit.
Yeah, and we're also gonna get an official explanation on why did he get a rerun for the second run as well, but we are still waiting on it. Really good run overall, except that one correction in outer zone. Yeah.
So we have a clarification. Nauris did get another run because somebody joined the server. So the judges looked at the replay, they saw that somebody joined in the middle of the run, and that caused the issue, and that is why he got to run again. So remember guys, you know, don't join the server randomly, especially while the groups are going on. Message Moist and get a permission from him that you are allowed to join in between the runs, so that we don't mess up anyone's run. You know, everyone wants a nice and smooth run, everyone wants a nice equal chance to qualify, you know. So let's keep it clean, let's listen to the people who are helping us get this whole thing together, you know, and let's go for some good laps right here with Joffrey. Off the line we go.
Yeah, let's see what Joffrey can do from Team ATDT as well. Nice big initiation, and completely missing outer zone 1, unfortunately, with a massive angle. Going through the inside clip, struggling a little bit at the beginning of the track, fills halfway of outer zone 3 and completely misses outer zone 4. Everything's not right for Joffrey today. It looks like coming into outer zone 5. Well, this is a lot better. Exited a bit early though. Hits the touch and go very well, going into outer zone 7 with some massive angle aggressively. Doesn't feel it completely, somewhere lingering in the middle of outer zone 7. A lot of improvements could be made in this run, starting with the initiation already.
I did like the aggressiveness of the
Oh, yeah.
initiation, though. He almost threw in a backy right
Oh,
there
yeah.
off the start. That was very, very commitment heavy, let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, not quite what we want to see in terms of the zones. Not filling out the zones as much as we would want. Now, just there, we just saw he went into that outside zone very nicely, but unfortunately once again shallowed out. But yeah, looking like he's going for maximum commitment, maximum style, as much angle everywhere as he wants, as well as he can. But let's see if Joffrey can manage to dial it back just a little bit, you know, get that consistency in there and get some higher score runs for the second one, because the first one, yeah, 45, not quite what he wants to see for himself right there, I would imagine. So let's see if we can see an improvement up next.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he used his first run as the practice run, and let's see how he does on the second. Already off the line with smoking tires, big flick initiation, and missing the outer zone 1 again.
And into the inside clip right now, just a bit too deep on that one. Alright, transitioning on. Ooh, that's way too much angle, has to do a big correction, and he straightens out, unfortunately, for Joffrey right there. So that's going to be a 0 on the second run, but he still does finish the lap. You know, you're out on the track, you might as well use your track time wisely, get that whole lap done right there, and we can see the 0 from the judges already. Oh, big left foot brake right there at the end, going for a bit of a burnout on the last zone. So there we go. Yeah, unfortunate for Joffrey right here, trying to throw another big initiation right there. Doesn't fill the first outside zone, goes too deep on the second clip, and yeah, there's a few bumps there on the track. So as well, of course, if your weight transfers and your transitions are off-timed as well, it's very easy to mess up on that. So if you're used to driving over those bumps at a one specific point all the time, and then you hit it from just a bit of a different angle, you know, maybe that's not quite what you were expecting, and that can really throw you off and make you straighten out, spin, and all those things.
Oh yeah, unfortunate. Well, but that transition after the inside clip, the one that threw him off, it was so snappy, so fast.
Yeah.
There was just no way to recover from it. But yeah,
the way I see it is that he slowed down a bit too much on that inside clip, and then afterwards, as he was accelerating, he had just a bit too much speed going into that transition. Couldn't
might
quite
be
hold it together.
But we're gonna continue the race, continue the quali with another driver from ATDT, from Team ATDT from Spain. Juan Jorge's coming up to the line in another E36, exactly the same. They're not running the same car, they're just running the same livery. Each has their own car, of course, and he's already off the line with a big flick initiation coming into outer zone 1, showing them how it's done. Good fill into outer zone 1 and good on the inside clip as well. Good transition into outer zone 3, very confident, not hitting any walls and completely filling zones, including outer zone 4. You can see his brakes glowing red hot as he comes into outer zone number 5, completely filling it out. No corrections in there as well. Hitting the touch and go, coming into outer zone 7 with massive angle across the line. I am very sorry.
Looking nice and solid from Juan right there on the first run. I mean, right on the line off the bat, initiating, getting that touch and go as well. I mean, beautiful stuff, not much to say. Not seeing a lot of corrections right there, you know, not seeing a lot of mess ups, and great job on the zone here as well. Not quite as deep as we've seen some of the other drivers, but still staying nice and solid for the first run. Should be pretty good points on the board right there for Juan. I mean, looking like a run that's already basically solidifying himself for the top 32, if I am seeing that correctly.
The glowing brakes, though, does that indicate that he was sitting on the left foot brake throughout the entire run, or is that just a visual glitch?
That's just a visual, because as you can see, 79 points, exactly.
Yeah.
Right outside of our top 3. Juan gonna be ranked right now 4th in qualifying after the first run, so let's see if he's gonna get into that top 3 position right there as he goes off the line, tires smoking, big flick to initiate things on the second run right here. Beautiful job, fills out the zone nicely, gets the inside clip perfectly outside zone 3 right now. getting out of that one as well. Great job riding the first one outside zone 5. Consistent clipping through those tires right there. Beautiful, beautiful stuff from Juan and into outside zone 6. Outside zone 5, sorry. Touch and go 6. Beautiful. And outside zone 7. Let's see if we can finish this one and maybe improve the score.
Whoa.
Great run. 2
Yeah.
great runs by Juan. I mean, that one, it might honestly be an improvement, you know. At that point, it's very difficult to call because both of the runs were very solid, very nice. I mean, right off the bat, look at that. The initiation just sets himself up correctly for the inside clip and for the rest of the run right away.
Insane, yeah, really good. Look at this and coming into outer zone 4. Look at where the wheels are, basically on the line. And the same with outer zone 5 as well. You can see that he is as deep in the zone as you could possibly be. Just playing with the limits of the track, hitting the touch and go, no corrections at all. Very confident, big angles as well. Definitely schooling everybody here, showing us a really good run. And it's an 86, so he does put himself in the second place for now, tying with Arman's Vestmanis.
There we go. Yeah, if I remember correctly, his other run is higher score than Arman's, so he should be indeed in second place with that one as well. So great run, good improvement by Juan on this one.
Yeah, and let's see, our next driver is going to be Aivis Bambans from Latvia, and let's not waste any time sending him off the line already. A bit of a shallow initiation coming into outer zone 1, doesn't really hit it, but is good on the touch and go. Now transitioning over to outer zone 3, unfortunately missing that too. Let's see how it does on the 4. Good fill on outer zone number 4, pretty deep in it, transitioning over to 5. Good angle. Oh, interesting camera angle change there. I couldn't really see what happened. And now coming over into outer zone 7. Really hard to see where he is in the zone from these cameras. What is going on?
Yeah, so first run from Ives done. Yeah, not looking as deep into the zones as we've seen some of the other drivers, but you know, gotta get that first run out of the way, get those nerves out of the way. Let's hope he's gonna be able to improve for his second run. Of course, should be points on the board, you know, didn't straighten out, didn't do anything like that. This outside zone right there was beautiful, but for the other ones, it did seem like he could have used a bit more commitment to get right all the way into those zones, you know. Here, couldn't quite see what happened because of our angles, you know, sorry for that. So can't really tell you how much he filled up those zones, but overall, you know, not quite as deep as he should be into the zones, but very smooth, very smooth. And that means that all he has to do, just drive the car a bit further to the outside, you know, maybe shallow up the angle just a little bit to get the car into the right spots, you know. Small changes could be some big improvements for him right here, and big improvements is what he needs. 47 points on the first run, off the line for the second run. Flick initiation and missing the first outside zone, staying consistently out of it right there, but hitting that inside clip a bit too deep, but hitting it indeed. And some corrections, a bit of a straighten right there going into outside zone 4, and yeah, not quite what we want to see right there. A lot of corrections from Ives, some braking, some handbrake, some steering inputs right there, not as smooth as the first run that we just saw from him right here. So yeah, unfortunately also taps the wall across the line, so I don't think that's gonna be much of an improvement, if any improvement at all, over the first run right here.
Might be a 0, because he did cross the finish line straightened out already from that wall tap. But yeah, what happened
this
here?
point right here, this, I do wonder if they're also gonna count that as him staying in drift properly, because he did shallow out of the angle quite a lot. That, yeah, very unfortunate thing that happened right there. And of course, as I said before as well, that part right there, a bit bumpy on the track, you know. So if you go off of the bumpy part with the wrong angle, or you know, maybe not quite as much on throttle or too much on throttle, and you're not used to it, that can really mess you up, and that's a 0 for Ives on the second run. So thank you, of course, for participating. Unfortunate on that second one, but 46.
Well, that is not the lowest score that we have on the board at the moment, so he is not dead last though, as we see that this track is presenting quite a bit of a challenge to a lot of drivers.
I do hope that he qualifies for tandems. You know why? Because that means I'm in tandems.
Right.
So yeah, up next,
Jānis Reinsons already off the line with a very nice looking E46, nice initiation into outer zone 1. Big correction, missing completely the inside clip, and now going into outer zone 3. Quite far out in it, only filling it halfway through. Barely hits outer zone 4, now transitioning over to outer zone 5. A little bit conservative with this run, getting a bit deeper out into outer zone 5, but quite a few corrections going on there. And coming into outer zone 7 already, and hits the wall and goes across the finish line almost straight. I wonder if that is going to be a 0 or not. And at the moment I have to excuse a little bit because I have to pay attention to our third cast member, my dog. We need to go out for walkies. So Red, I'm leaving the cast in your hands for the next 10 minutes or so, because I've got duties.
Yep, I'll be taking over. So yeah, let's see. Jānis Reitsons with the first run right here, seeing quite a few corrections, you know, not staying deep into the zones as he should in all of them, but right here at the end as well, tapping the wall, maybe causing a straighten out. Won't know just yet, and well, never mind, we do know now. It is a 0. It was indeed a straighten, but already time for the second run. Let's see if he can manage to improve. Off the line he goes. Not a flick, a bit of a straight line entry right there, getting the first outside zone kind of halfway through, getting the inside clip as well onto outside zone 3, barely hitting that with one wheel, and into outside zone 4. Not bad, great job actually on the wall, getting the rear wheels basically into the tires as well, but adds on too much angle after the transition and does have to do a second initiation from what I could see on the big outside zone 5 right there. So unfortunately not gonna be the result that Jānis wants to see for himself. Now of course, let's check the replay, maybe I was wrong. So starting off the run, getting into the first outside zone but shallowing out of it immediately, gets the inside clip quite nicely. Transitions a bit shallow here already, but this zone, best zone that we've seen from Jānis so far here. Great job on that one, great job right there. So transitioning here and adds too much angle, and yeah, if not a 0, then a huge deduction for that one right there, because he basically just parked the car in the middle of the turn right there. Unfortunate for Jānis. Yes, unfortunately gonna be 0-0. So thank you of course for participating, you know, hope to see you on the next one. Hope to see you getting some runs on the board for the next run as well. But yeah, thank you for participating, Jānis. So there we go, another driver done, and up next Mati Slācis is on the line with his E46, one of our Latvian drivers from racing Team Riga as well. Let's see if he can put up a solid run, maybe get into those 90s. Off the line we go. Alright, gonna be a flick, yes it is, flick initiation, and hits the wall, and that's gonna be an immediate 0 right off the initiation for Mati Slācis. Messes it up right away, so you gotta get the rest of the lap done, of course, you know, get those tires warmed up properly, get those nerves out of the way, and a very uncharacteristic error from Mati Slācis on this one. I did see that happening a few times in practice. Some of the drivers, I as well also had that issue for a bit, but did not expect somebody of that caliber to make an error like this. So let's see it again. What happened exactly? Looks like on the flick he was just a bit too slow, and that made the car go a bit too far on the right. Couldn't get the flick done fast enough, you know, maybe something along those lines. Either way, time for a second run right here. Let's go, and let's see if Matis can put together at least a scored run for the second one. So Matis off the line he goes, gets into that first outside zone, not too bad, a bit shallower than other drivers, hits that inside clip very nicely. Outside zone 3 a bit shallow once again. Alright, on to the outside zone 4, not bad. A bit conservative there on the proximity to the wall, but gets himself through the zones nicely. Transitioning into this one, beautiful, into the touch and go. Great job right there by Matis as well. And let's see the end of the run, slows it down a bit, right on the wall. Beautiful job by Matis on the second run. So yeah, definitely way better job than on the first one. A bit initiation right there. And yeah, so of course for our drivers, you know, we do have our Google sheet that you can fill out to give us some info about yourselves to talk about. Of course, unfortunately, the last few drivers not seeing any info for the last few, so not really much to comment on right there, but remember, you can still do it right now as well as you're waiting for your turn to drive. You know, if you're just watching the stream, feel free to hop into that Google form, answer some questions, you know, give us something a bit more to talk about as well. So, let's wait and see what Mati's second run is gonna score. And that's gonna be a solid 70 right there for Mati. So yeah, not bad, getting a point on the board. Might be close to the cutoff, to be honest. You know, depending on how the rest of the runs go right here, might be getting a bit closer to that one, but only time will tell. There we go. We can see that Mati's right now with his second run is in the 13th position. So still very, very solid position for him to make it into the tandems. We can see 27 drivers so far are on the board and waiting to see what will happen with the rest of these runs right here. Currently at the top we have Vitali, Juan and Armats. Ukraine, Spain and Latvia. There we go. Juan, a Spanish driver right there, knocking out Luciano, a Portuguese driver, from the top 3. So yeah, as we can see, in our top 5, 2 Spanish drivers, 1 Latvian, 1 Portuguese and 1 Ukrainian. So right now, most of those higher score runs by our Spanish drivers right here. Let's see if our local Latvians can do something about that in the next upcoming groups as well. Or hey, maybe some of the other drivers, you know. We did have Ian and Mark in the last round from Ireland, both representing, doing very, very good right there as well. And on this one, to me, from the scores so far, it does look like Mark is going to make it into the tandems. For Ian, oof, might be a bit tough, but you know, hopefully manage to squeeze through right there as well. So yeah, oh, in the chat from Nauris as well, telling me I should see your wagon in person. I mean, you could share some pics on the server, you know, at least get to see that. But yeah, would be nice. What color is your E36? Is yours also green? Because I did see a really nice looking E36 wagon like a week ago. Same green color as mine, but that one was on like beautiful BBSs, which is just a bit out of my budget, you know. The price for the wheels, the BBSs specifically, oh man, they are insane here in Latvia right now. You know, I thought I would check it out once, just to see what they're at. Yeah, no, not happening again. It's multiple thousand for a good set. Yeah. Not quite what I can afford right now, I'll tell you that. But either way, right now, still no scores in the 90s is what we're seeing. So are we even gonna see any runs that are gonna be scored that high? Let me check real quick the groups and the drivers that are remaining for us right now to see if maybe some names pop out to me. You know, as I have said before, I am not the most knowledgeable when it comes to names. So it does make it a bit more difficult for me to remember some of these drivers, but maybe we could see. Oh, you send them to Ed's Discord. Okay, let me see. So, apologies to the viewers, you know, I was sent an E36 wagon, so I have to see what it looks like, and oh man, that is a rust box. What I meant to say, that looks clean. Whew. I've never seen a cleaner E36. Do you have a wire holding your gas tank closed? You know what, honestly, great job on that, you know. Yeah, I mean I mean, that's a drift missile right there. Hello, please tell me you drive that on the track, not just once. It's not in its final form. Okay, you know what, fair enough. I mean, that trunk definitely needs to be replaced, let me tell you what, man. Whew. But yeah, it's looking low, nice and low. Good looking car, man. Hell yeah, I approve. Alright, anyways, what was I saying before? Right, about the scores. It was holding your bumper. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Yeah, I didn't want to zoom in too much because I'm still trying to keep our setup, you know, somewhat the same. I don't want to completely mess everything up accidentally. But yeah. No, Slapjā Ragana, for some reason, a lot of drivers are losing their bumpers there. Not even hitting the walls. It's just bumpers don't want to stay on when driving that track. When I was on the last public day, we had like 9 people who lost their bumpers, I think. They didn't even hit walls or anything. It's just maybe the bumps in the road. Who knows? But yeah, right now, of course, for the qualifying runs that we have right here, 21st and 22nd. Me and my brother, me and Ed. Getting closer and closer to that cutoff. And I do believe that, let's see, wait, how many? 2, 4, 8. Oh, okay, so we should still both be safe for the next group, but for the group after that, that might be when both me and Ed are going to be on the chopping block right here. So yeah, speaking of which, very soon we're going to be seeing our cutoff for the top 32. That should be happening within the next group. Only 5 more drivers need to place a scored run. And then we're going to be seeing the cutoff zone appear. And unfortunately, I'm going to be seeing one by one some of the drivers disappear off into the nether until the next round, of course. You tap the wall pretty much where the outside zone 3 is on this layout. So that is, oh, yeah, I see. On a private track day. Ooh, also going for the private days. I see. Yeah. Luckily, I haven't gotten to tap any walls on the track just yet, because I feel like with my current skill level, it would be a bit more than just a tap on the wall, you know, so I will gladly stay off of the walls right now, but definitely cannot stay the same about our drivers who are in the server right now. There we go, getting some practice laps in with our next group, and we have some contact, and we have somebody crashing into the wall independently as well. Oh no, what are we watching? Come on guys, let's get some nice runs. Let's get some nice runs together. Even in practice, you know, we're still watching, we're still seeing what you all can do. So yeah, server's filling up, people are getting their laps in. And soon enough, we're gonna be seeing the next group getting off the line as well. Didn't mean to do it happen because you were chased by a wild compact, huh? An E36 wagon getting chased by an E36 compact. I wonder if we're gonna get to see that sometime soon. In our private days. Would be nice. Although, I need to learn how to drive first. Once again, contact at the end. Oh no, is it gonna happen again? Yeah, with this many people on the track, it is a bit difficult to get the smooth runs going through for all the drivers, and currently only one driver on the track. Now, I was thinking maybe we're going back to pits, but not yet, okay. How was it with the nerves for you now, for example, or, well, our other drivers as well who are in the chat? How was it with the nerves for you on this one? Because this track is, the lap is so long, you have enough time to rethink your whole life while you're on the first lap, especially if you make a mistake early on. Oh. And then while waiting for the second run to start. For me, personally, on the last round, the first run, I had a lot of nerves, but on the second run, I had 0 nerves whatsoever. And then on this one, oh, well, right, enough about nerves right now. Let's focus on Martins Zadraks on the line already. Our first driver for the group is off the line with a yellow E36. Into the initiation we go. A nice flick fills out the outside zone 1 nicely. A bit shallow towards the end of it, but still a great job on the inside clip as well. Outside zone 3, let's see what we can do. Oh, smashes into the wall, and that's gonna be a 0 for the first one. For the first run of Martins Zadraks right here. Unfortunate mishap. Had a great initiation, great start for the run, but could not quite pull it together for the end.
well, not for the end, for the middle of the run even. So let's hope he can improve that and manage to get a run through for the second one. Yeah, unfortunate error, just going way too deep in that zone right there. But off the line for the second run, the first driver of this group.
Martins, let's see if he can put up a score on the second run. Smoky tire initiation, but unfortunately missing outer zone number 1. Decent hit for the inside clip coming up to outer zone 3 now, but barely hitting the line of it, if not completely missing it. Coming to outer zone 4, much better in this one. And in outer zone 5 now, confident transition, no corrections, complete fill of the zone, it looks like. Hitting the touch and go just barely, but that's all you have to do. And coming into outer zone number 7, filling the zone about midway through, I would say, it looked like from me. By the way, is that a wood livery?
Wait, is it?
I don't know, it looks like wood.
I have been trying to understand what that is, but it is difficult. I don't quite get it.
Yeah, but for the run itself, definitely room for improvement, but better than a 0, I would say.
yeah.
That is
Points on the
definitely
board.
some points on the board.
Yep, exactly. And of course, if you mess up on the first run like that, you know, speaking of the nerves, man, the nerves must be going crazy at that point, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Because if you only have one run, you know, and you know that the first run is a 0 already, definitely does make you a bit more nervous for that one. So could see that maybe he was, you know, shallowing out a bit on some of the turns right here. And yeah, that's gonna result in a 51 for Martins right there, starting off our group. Which group was it? C? No, this was Group D already, wasn't it?
Probably D.
Yeah, I think that was Group D.
Or E. I'm not sure. Yeah,
E,
it's Group E.
Oh, there we go. We're already in Group E.
Time
Wow.
flies when you're having fun.
I know, right? Either way, first driver is done. Up next is Darius Ostrega from Lithuania, also representing Auros Marine. Off the line we go with a yellow E36, yet another one of those. And a nice flick initiation, big flick right there by Darius. Alright, great job on outside zone 1. Hits the inside clip perfectly as well onto outside zone 3. Great job so far by Darius. Let's see if he can keep it going through the wall runs as well. Indeed, for the first one he can. Up now the second wall run, and great job, nice, sets himself up very great for the zone, right on the edge of that line as well. Amazing job by Darius Ostrega so far on the first run. Let's see, slow it down a bit with that left foot brake. Beautiful run, and honestly, you know, I don't want to jinx it, I don't want to call it too early, but if there's a contender for a 90, this one might be it. That aggression on the initiation.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, the aggression didn't continue all the way through in the rest of the track. The rest of the track felt very surgically precise, but not exactly aggressive, I would say. But still, look at the fill of the lines. He's just on the very edge of them. That is just some textbook driving there.
Great job by Darius. Not really seeing too many corrections or anything either, you know. Did see, of course, that left foot brake to get him into the last outside zone, but that is a diesel zone right there, so we do expect drivers to slow down right there. And there we go, 84 for the first run, so not quite into the 90s, but a great run either way.
Yeah, let's see if he can put himself in the top 3 on his second run. Very big smoky flick initiation with massive angle going through outer zone 1, completely filling it. Clears the inside clip, now beautiful transition into outer zone 3, no dramas there as well. This time looks a bit more confident going through outer zone 4, also no dramas. It's just perfect textbook runs back to back from Darius there, going through outer zone 5, just on the very edge of the track, into touch and go as well. No corrections, nothing whatsoever, throwing some big angle and getting very close to the wall in outer zone 7 and across the finish. Yeah, Darius is our champion of our last season, so he's definitely a driver to watch out for in these races. Definitely shows that he still has it in him, not even with the pro cars, but with the street cars as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, that initiation, that is by far my favorite initiation that I've seen today. Both of them so aggressive, right to the angle. Oh, looking great by Darius right there. And yeah, I mean, definitely gonna be seeing him in tandems tomorrow. Maybe even gonna see him get quite farther, to be honest, you know. I mean, he's looking very confident on this track right here, so would not be surprised.
93!
And there we go, finally, a driver into the 90s, and that is gonna be our last year's champion, Darius. great job. I mean, what more can you say? What more can you say? An amazing, amazing run with the aggression of the start and then the precision to follow it through as well. Great job.
It's rare that you see somebody put up an 84 and then improve it by 9 points.
Oh yeah.
That is something, definitely. But up already next, Nikhil Barakar from Canada, from 80 parts and performance in the blue E46. Another big flick initiation, fills outer zone 1 about to 80%. Very good on the inside clip, just rotates right around it and hits the wall in outer zone 3 and straightens out. And gets a 0 for his first run, unfortunately. Looked very promising at the start, very confident.
Another aggressive initiation, look at that. Not quite as aggressive as the last one that we saw from Darvis, but I mean, still was looking very good at the start.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yet again, just like what we saw before, just a bit too deep. And yeah, with these cars, it is very easy to just overcook it just a bit, get into that wall, and unfortunately no saving you from there. But let's see if Nikhil can manage to put up a second run right there, get a nice scored run in, maybe get into the top 32 as well. So, on the line, getting ready. Looks like we're gonna have to reposition him just a bit, getting him into the right spot. Alright, there we go. Let's get ready for that second run, and let's hope that Nikhil will be able to complete this run and get some points. So, nice aggressive initiation, yet again, beautiful. Fills the outside zone 1 very nicely. Now into the inside clip. Nice job on the inside clip. Outside zone 3. Can we get through this one? Yes, nice job. Bit shallow, but hey, great job on this one nonetheless. Rides the wall on outside zone 4 and outside zone 5. A lot of angle getting into that zone. A bit more angle than the other E46s I think that we've seen, but does shallow out of the zone towards the end just a bit. And now slowing it down for the last one. Big angle on last outside zone 7, and across the line he goes, and there we go. That should be points right there on board for Nikhil. So not bad. Definitely could see him in the outside zone 3, shallowing it out just a bit, making sure that he's not gonna hit that one. But great run. Looking like, I would say, middle of the board run somewhere there, like somewhere in the 60s, 70s maybe, if I'm seeing that correctly. So yeah, right there towards the end of that zone, camera goes to the other angle, so I couldn't quite see it if he managed to fill out that zone completely or not. But yeah, not bad. Having to recover from a 0 and then putting up a run like that, honestly, great job by Nikhil. So yeah, waiting for the judges to make their decision. And there we go. Yeah, now they're saying that he was sweating his ass off while getting ready for the run. And well, there we go. Nikhil 72, big improvement. Very well done.
Yeah, a massive 72-point improvement. That is insane.
Indeed.
Biggest improvement of the day, probably.
That you might be on something with that one. Yes.
Yeah.
But
Let's
now
see.
it's time for epic sim racing. That's right. It's Eng. Off the start from Mongolia, light goes green, and off the line we go. E46 action right here. Aggressive initiation yet again, beautifully fills out the outside zone 1, and a bit of shallowing out to hit that inside clip onto outside zone 3. A bit shallow there as well, not quite as far into those zones as we would like to see him, and yeah, missing the outside zone 4. Going out into 5. Let's see, can he hit that? He's in the zone, getting deeper into the zone. There we go. That's an improvement right there. Gets the touch and go. And last outside zone 7. Nice job by Enk. Getting across the line. Not as deep as we would want to see him at the start of the track, but maybe getting a bit more comfortable, shaking off those nerves. Still, another great aggressive initiation. Everybody in this group going for those aggressive initiations right here.
Yeah, but it's just interesting to see sometimes the drivers are super confident on the initiation, actually getting a good one and good fill on outer zone 1, and then getting a bit more careful in the rest of the track. I would expect, or I would like to see the same level of confidence all the way throughout the track, but it is what it is. At least he puts some points on the board, and let's see if he goes full confidence on the second run. As we still wait for the score for the first.
Yeah, definitely left something on the board to be desired, but 46 points. A lot to be desired.
Left more than half the points to be desired, and let's see if he can crawl them back in the second run. A nice initiation again into outer zone 1, completely filling it, and nice on the inside clip, no shallowing up this time. Good hit into outer zone 3 this time around, and good angle on the outer zone 4. Good fill of it as well, no corrections there. Coming into outer zone 5 right now, flirting with the edge of the track at the end of it, but entered at the middle, hits the touch and go. A bit of a shallow approach to outer zone 7, but finds the angle, crosses the finish line, almost bumper to the wall. Good run overall. I would say that was definitely an improvement. Definitely hit most of the zones that he missed better than the previous time around. No shallowing up for the inside clip as well. This one, outer zone 3, completely missed it on the first run, but hit very well on the second. Good job into outer zone 4 as well. Yeah, very, very solid.
So, unfortunately, I missed that second run, but what do you think? Is it going to be an improvement on the first
Definitely,
run?
definitely an improvement, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm seeing the replay right here. I mean, what I saw from the second part of the lap does look nice and smooth. So yeah, let's see if Henk is going to get himself a nice improvement to get himself to that top 32, and a bit of an improvement. Yeah, still gonna be hopeful very soon that he's not gonna get on that drop zone right there, but with a 59, ooh, that might be close. That
Yeah.
might be very close.
Another nail biter kind of a score, but hey,
Oh, yeah.
improving your run by 13 points is no small deal. That is
Exactly.
definitely a hard thing to do.
And Daniel Kwasha right there from Israel
Yes.
on the line.
Yes.
Well then, let's get off the line right here. Aggressive initiation yet again. Beautiful job in the outside zone 1, filling that zone nicely. Inside clip, a bit deep right there. Flying through that one with the front of his car, and ooh, very close. Looked like he was gonna hit there. Oh man, that was a nail biter. But he does tap the wall right before outside zone 4, and that makes him miss the zone completely. Going into outside zone 5, great job, very deep into the zone. Very nice and planted, solid on the touch and go as well. And now for the last outside zone 7, adding on some angle and on the throttle. Over the line he goes, and Daniel right there, ooh, with a bit of a interesting run.
Yeah, some big major mistakes there coming into outer zone. What was it, 4? Did hit the inside clip as well. This was a super scary moment going through outer zone 3. I also thought that he was gonna hit the wall, but he did tap the wall just before outer zone 4. That sent him off his desired line and made him completely miss the zone. He came back immediately on outer zone 5 though. Put a very good line in there, and I think he did scrape the wall a little bit into outer zone 7. That's why you see the car shake a little bit, but I don't know, not really easy to see, but still he gets 62.
62 points. So yeah, as I wanted to say, the rest of the run, other than those few errors, did seem very solid though. So definitely leaving something on the board, you know, to be improved, but not too shabby for a first run right here by Daniel. So off the line we go. All right, on the second run, initiating yet another aggressive one, and he hits the wall as well, unfortunately, on the initiation. I think that's the second time we've seen. Did anyone do that while I was driving?
I don't think so, no.
Then
I
this
didn't
is the
see.
second time we've seen it today, so it's Daniel Kwasha and Mati Slatis who have done that.
Matis
today.
did that.
Yeah, on the first run. On the second one, he did manage to salvage it. I think he got somewhere in the 70s or exactly 70 points. But yeah, unfortunate for Daniel right here. It's gonna be a 0 on the second run. But still, that's 62. Yet another nail biter score right there. So many of those runs that we're getting right now, seeing a lot of scores that are going to be close to the drop zone, which, by the way, we can see right now Gundar Ga on the drop zone at 32 points. So let's see if he's going to be knocked out of the top 32 immediately by Vilius right here, our Lithuanian driver from Team NKTK.
Yeah, let's see what he can do with the E36 as we're waiting for him to cross the line. And welcome Gundars as our first drop zone member. The lights are green, Vilius is ready to go. A nice flick initiation, good in the outer zone 1, but exits it a bit early, decent on the inside clip, now transitioning over with big angle into outer zone 3, which he goes halfway only. Decent on outer zone 4 though, but exits a little bit early again. He needs to stay in the zones for a bit longer. Now in outer zone 5, yeah, we see the same thing. He was right on the line at the beginning of it, but exited way too early. Hits the touch and go very well. Let's see the last zone. He rides the wall with massive angle across the finish line. doesn't
Okay.
mess up his run. There was a lot to be desired for the zone fill, as you see.
At the start, yeah, immediately right off the bat on the
Yeah.
first outside zone, already seeing some corrections here and there, so not really that confident in his line that he's setting himself up on. But I mean, if he does the rest of the track on the second lap like he did the last outside zone,
Yeah.
then he's definitely going to be scoring high, because you can see he can get into those zones.
Yeah.
As you said before, he gets into the zones and then he shallows out.
Yeah.
So he can definitely get into the zones. It's just all about staying in them as well. I mean, look at that. That last outside zone
Absolutely.
was perfect.
Yeah, that was
know?
the biggest angle we might have seen
Exactly,
today.
exactly.
Going there. even.
So all he has to do is have that same confidence for the rest of the track, and I think Vilius is going to have himself a solid score, which, I mean, already coming in with a 64 right there is going to be Vilius off the line for the second run, and off he goes. All right, let's see if we can get an improvement, maybe get him into those 70s as well. Nice initiation, better than the first one, didn't see as many corrections, but a bit further out on the touch and go. Now for the outside zone 3, a bit shallow as well yet again. Can we get closer to the wall? And oh, he taps the wall but stays into the zone. Bit of a correction, manages to keep it together though and keep the run going out into the outside zone 5. Great job, but does get the contact on the wall as well right there. Unfortunately messes his line up just a bit with that one. Let's see, yet again, last outside zone, almost perfect. So yeah, yet again seeing a few errors here and there, but Vilius looking like one of those drivers who is very close, very close to being a top tier driver here as well. We're seeing a few of those errors here and there, and you know, with some more practice, once he gets those ironed out, looking like one of the drivers who could get to see some nice improvement right here as well.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that he is fixing his mistakes from the previous run, but unfortunately introducing some new ones in the process,
Exactly.
which is definitely what you don't want to see.
Once
So-
again, you know, combine both of those runs and you got a solid 70 to 80 point run, I
Yeah.
would say, you know. So making some mistakes here and there, you know, those are the things that, like, the consistency, you know, that is what matters here.
Yeah.
So, of course, if you can make 2 runs that together combined give you 70 or 80 points, that means you're a good driver, right? But you have to do all of that in one run. And unfortunately, not going to be an improvement. 51 on the second run.
Yeah, happens to the best of us. As we all know, drift is a sport where you have to be in the moment. You only get one shot for each run. You can't
Exactly.
just go back to pits and try again. So when you're on the line, it is go time. You have to be your best.
And not just that, you know, for those 30 seconds to 1 minute 30, you know, depending on the lap time, you know, like, you have to be on point. You cannot make mistakes, you know.
Exactly, but let's see Janis Kloks from Team OLH from Latvia put down his qualifying run, going into the first run and a nice initiation into outer zone 1, completely filling it. Good on the inside clip as well, transitioning over with massive angle on the outer zone 3. How he didn't hit it is beyond me. Quite shallow into outer zone 4. I don't think he hits it at all. Now transitioning over to outer zone 5, looking very good, filling the zone about like 80% of it. Very good, very stable on the touch and go. No angle changes, and now massive angle coming through outer zone 7 and across the line. Decent run. That was super scary at outer zone 3. Really good initiation, really aggressive as well. One of the more aggressive E46 drivers out there.
Yeah, right here you can see he messes up the line just a bit going into this outside zone, and that makes it so that he misses outside zone 4
Yeah.
as well. So unfortunate on those parts of the track, but for the rest of it, looking very solid, liking what I'm seeing from Janis on this first run so far. Let's hope he can manage to fix that one little mistake right there, and hopefully we can see a very nice and solid run up next as well. Of course, on this one, I think already should be pretty decent points right here. You know, definitely should be in that top 32 with this run, but you want to solidify your spot to make sure that you don't get knocked out into that drop zone. Of course, right now we have Darvis, Rosttos right here with a 43-point run, and he's gonna be knocked out with a 66 from Janis. Off the line we go for the second run immediately. So let's see, can we get another nice aggressive initiation? Yes, we can. Beautiful job by Janis on the initiation. Inside clip, great job right there as well. Outside zone 3, can we fill that so nicely? Indeed we can. Nice. Well done by Janis on the outside zone 4, a bit shallower, and then taps the wall, and he has to turn his wheel all the way to the other side, so that might have been a bit too big of a mistake for that run to be counted. Unfortunate to see right here. So let's finish this lap, breaking it up a bit in the end, and over the line we go. So yeah, a bit of a 360 right there at the end. You're not gonna let out the anger
nice.
after that tap. Yeah, that was a pretty nice end to the lap. But unfortunate for Giannis. Another great start for the lap. On this zone, again, he looks to be going with a bit of a different line than most of our other drivers on both of these runs. Not quite the same line into the outside zone 3 on both runs though, so looks like he doesn't have quite that consistency down for that part of the track, which is of course what you need to set yourself up correctly for outside zone 4 as well, you know. So yeah, there we go. Let's see what the judges are gonna have to say for the second run from Giannis.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that is a 0 or not, because that was a pretty significant wall hit and a pretty significant correction to get back in the angle. And it is a 0, unfortunately. So Giannis at the moment is still in the battle for tomorrow's tandems. We don't know the exact place, but he put Joffrey on the chopping block now. So he is now sitting in his couch, watching the stream, biting the nails. So
Exactly.
Let's see.
Oh, of course, Vilius. Hey, thank you for participating as well, man.
Oh yeah, thanks for stopping by. Good runs.
Yeah. Oh, and okay, Rītums Jākapsons, one of our last event's top drivers, right here off the line already. He goes. Okay, let's go. Initiation, first zone. Nice aggressive entry, a bit too wide. Can he keep it together? Yes, he can. Whoa. First driver I think we've seen going wide and actually keeping it together on this one, so great job by Rītums. Fills out outside zone 3 as well, on to outside zone 4, right on the edge of the wall. Great job by Rītums, not bad at all. Transitioning on to outside zone 5, a bit shallower, but staying into the zone, nice and smooth and consistent. Hits the touch and go. Goes on to outside zone 7, shallowing out a bit, and now adding more angle, and across the line he goes. And there we go. Solid start from Rītums right here. Yeah, was one of our drivers who was on the lower end of the qualifying on the last one going into the tandems, but did make his way very far into the battles. I mean,
he went into top 4 and every one of his battles was an upset that he won.
Exactly.
That was ridiculous.
He was the lower qualifying driver who managed to beat out all those battles. So let's see what the score is going to be for Rītums on the first battle right here, and is he going to be able to make it into the tandems yet again, you know, maybe cause some more upsets, or if he's just gonna qualify, you know, towards the top on this one.
This was a pretty sick run. I really loved the aggression. I agree with you completely on the fact that I've never seen anybody overshoot outer zone 1 and still stay in it. Usually if you overshoot it, you hit the pylons or you hit the fence and you crash out completely. That was just crazy.
Exactly.
Really nice aggression from him, and good job on the rest of the track as well. Kept it in the lines.
Yeah, that initiation, oof, that looked very close to him not making it. You know, I don't think I've seen anybody go deeper than you should and actually manage to save the car.
Exactly.
Which, you know, big props to Rītums for that. And there we go, we have some info from Nauris right here. He's saying that 3 drivers have to get 00 so that both me and Ed get to drive in tandems.
And it's 79.
Well, Rītums not letting that happen already with a 79.
Yeah, let's see if he can improve it on the second run. Cleaner on the outside zone 1 this time around. Flirts with the edges of it, now already into outer zone 3 already. Very aggressive big angle coming into outer zone 4, right on the edge of the track. Now transitioning over for outer zone 5. Let's see it on the edge of the track again. That is some perfect drifting. A small correction and barely hits the touch and go. And let's see the last zone, tires screeching coming into across the finish line. Bumper scraping on the wall. Another aggressive run from Rītums.
Looking good. I mean, he fixed the error on outside zone 1 that he had, and overall, I do think this run might be a bit of an improvement from his previous one in terms of the points. Although, never mind. I mean, look at that. That looks great. I was gonna say maybe on outside zone he wasn't as far in, but now we saw that bumper disappear in those tires. Right as soon as he probably got into that zone as well.
You did see the small correction just before the touch and go. He went a little bit shallow and barely hit it. Of course, it is a touch and go. You don't have to fill it. You just have to hit it.
Yeah.
But there was a small bit of a correction there.
All right, so waiting on the second score, and there we go. 85 puts him up on 5th place for Ritums. Yeah,
Good stuff. So
great job. Great job.
this is the end of Group E already, I assume, because we're looking at the scoreboard. That's usually how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, let me double check that real quick. I should have it open right here. Yes, indeed. That was the last driver of Group E. So up next, we're going to be having Group F, which, as I can see right now, only has 6 drivers. Let's see if maybe that's going to change, because, you know, if you show up late or whatever, there is still a possibility to get in on that last group, you know, to get your run in, just in case you couldn't make it earlier on. But yeah, looks like in the last group as well, ooh, we have some big names right there, you know. Of course, starting off that group, it's going to be Anders Kleinberg, so can't wait for that one, can't wait for that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a great run. I'm sorry, my throat's a bit itchy. But as we see right now, our top qualifier is the only 90 points run by Darius Ostrejka. Then second is Vitali Isaya with 87, and then Juan Jorges from Spain with 86. So we have Lithuania, Ukraine, and Spain taking our top 3 for the qualifying at the moment, and tying up, rounding up our top 32 at the moment. Our drop zone is Ivis Bambans with a 47. So that is a wide range of scores, as we can see.
Yeah, and no Latvian in the top 3, huh? Let's see if that's going to change in the last group.
It might. Andres definitely has it in to get there. He was on the podium last race, wasn't he? I don't remember correctly. I think he was.
I think he was. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember off the top of my head either. All I remember was that Mark completely stomped that event. I'm sorry to all the other drivers, you know, I was also participating. I didn't even make it to tandems, but I mean, that was just a perfect event by him, you know.
Absolutely.
You can't really say anything about that. You can't really say anything about that.
Top
and on the
qualifying,
last one, oh no, he wasn't top 3. No. He didn't get top 3 on the last event.
We see.
Last event's top 3 was Mark, Jakobsons and Vova. Yeah. Ritums, Mark, and Vova were the top 3 of the last event. But I do think that he was quite high up as well in terms of the overall rankings. I don't have the full rankings with me right now, so I can't tell you off the top of my head. But yeah. Also, one of our more consistent drivers, of course.
I do not remember if he was in the battle for the 3rd place.
Oh, he might have been. He might have been. That I cannot tell you though, unfortunately. But yeah, anyways, right now, of course, the drop zone is at 47 with Ives. And it's going to be moving up really quickly with our next few drivers right there. In the 40s and 50s is places 32 to 26. So already from the 25th driver right here, we are seeing a 60-point run. So quite low in terms of the cutoff. If we are considering how many drivers we have left, I don't think we're going to be making it into the mid-60s, you know. I don't think we have enough drivers for that.
Yeah, we might not qualify, but just by a tiny margin, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be close. It's definitely going to be close, not just for us, but of course for all the other drivers who are near us as well. Of course, for me, only 4 people have to qualify with a score of 56 or higher. And I'm gonna be out already. And well, if I'm looking at that last group, yeah, I think they might be able to knock me out. You know, I'll have to be honest with you. Not the best at remembering names, but I do think that I've seen some of those drivers, you know, placing way higher than me. Let's just put it that way.
Well, if not all of them, then at least Andres is going to move us at least 1 position down. I really don't believe he's going to qualify lower than any of us.
But hey, remember, anything can happen. For example, on Mati's first run, right? He did manage to solidify himself currently in the 16th position with a 70-point run. But on his first run, that one you did miss. You were out for a walk with dog. But what you missed was on the initiation. Exactly what we were talking about. Remember in the practice as well, what you were having troubles with, starting the initiation and going into the wall. Yeah, unfortunately, same exact thing happened to him. So, you know, you can be a driver of a high caliber and a high skill level, but we're all still human, you know, everybody can mess up. And with drifting especially, you know, any small errors you make can transition over into big mistakes later on in the run as well. So anything can happen, you know. we might see us qualifying. You know, we might even see the rest of the drivers, all of them, put up good runs and get that cut off up to 60 points, right? If I remember correctly, we did have enough drivers to make it 60, didn't we?
I don't think we do. We have 6 more remaining. I don't know about the late group. Do we have it or not? But it might be 59 at the moment. Yeah. That is the highest drop of zone that I think we can have at the moment, is a 59.
Exactly. Yeah, so quite a low drop off zone for this one, of course. There we go, we just got the update. 4 people in the late group, so we could definitely still go above 60 points in the qualifying as well. So there we go. Looking a bit tougher right now for me and Ed right now.
Yep, yeah. I don't think we're gonna make it, but okay, let's see. Drivers are being called to the pits, and the first one in this group is gonna be Andris Kleinbergs from Racing Team Riga, already on the line, ready to put down his first run. Here we see the lights that are already green, with a big flick initiation coming into outer zone 1, massive angle completely filling it, going into the touch and go, no, the inside clip, hitting it, massive transition with a lot of angle going through outer zone 3, hits it very well, big angle coming into outer zone 4 as well, no corrections there, coming into outer zone 5 right now, right on the edge of the track, really good and really precise, hitting the touch and go, coming into outer zone 7 right now with massive angle and a lot of speed, bumper on the wall, across the finish line he goes. Great run from Andris, as we of course expect to see from him.
Looks like he definitely had his glass of kvass before this one, because that's one of the things he has mentioned as his pre-driving ritual, you know, a nice glass of kvass and a deep breath to get him ready for the runs right here. And what a great job indeed on the first one. I mean, yeah, you know, I have to say that is definitely one of the higher score runs we've seen today from one of our very own Latvian drivers, who not only of course drives in the sim but also drives in real life whenever the car is working, of course, as all of us.
Yeah,
but yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
You also have to remember that Andris is one of the rare drivers that puts up top scores while still using a belt-driven wheelbase.
Yes, which honestly I do not understand. How do you do that? Like, I myself have a T300. I don't know how people can drive at the top. Like right there, 87 points for Anders on the first run right there already, and off the line we go for the second one. Can he improve that? Can he get the #1 spot in qualifying? Off the line we go into outside zone 1. Beautiful job into the inside clip, maybe just a tad bit too deep on that one. Into outside zone 3 as well. Great job on that one by Anders, and filling out the zone beautifully. Transition, nice and snappy into outside zone 5. Great angle, yet again on the line. Beautiful job right there. And on to last outside zone, slowing down. Yet again, another great textbook run. Ooh, tapped the wall a bit at the end right there. And yeah, there we go. Oh, Nauris and Anders, you both have the same wheelbase. Well, there you go. Yeah, I think that Trustmaster wheelbase is quite popular, and I'm pretty sure my T300 is also similar to that one as well. It's like a bit different in the models, but like in terms of internals, it's like almost the same thing. So yeah.
Oh yeah, but look at the run again in the replay. He just put 2 back-to-back runs that are insanely good on the board. I really want to see what the score for this second one is going to be, because he was so aggressive on the last zones as well.
Yep.
On all the zones. It's just insane that you put on an 87, then you still go for improvement. Like, where are you gonna find it? Like, an 87-point run is nearly perfect already, and unfortunately it's not an improvement this time around. It's a 75.
And he's gonna be in 3rd place with that run right there, so still top 3. And yeah, there we go, what we mentioned before about no Latvian drivers in the top 3.
Exactly.
Anders took care of that real quick, real quick. But yeah,
exactly.
I mean, yeah, there we go. Now it's also mentioning Ritum's probably driving a G29 right there. So yeah, we have a lot of different wheels participating, and I mean on this one, oh, a T300 driver, my man, Benas Jonutis, off the line, Lithuanian driver, gonna be doing an aggressive initiation right off the bat, getting into outside zone 1. Great job filling that one out nicely, and into the touching inside clip. I mean, not quite as deep in that one as we would like to see, and also a bit shallow in outside zone 3. Can we see the nice wall ride into outside zone 4? Yes, we can. Beautiful, beautiful job by Benes, starting to clean it up towards the second part of the run right now as well. Great job on the wall ride. A bit of a correction right there, shallowing out of the angle, but staying into that zone beautifully. And there we go, slowing it down just a bit, and across the line we go. So yeah, there we go. Another one of our drivers driving a Thrustmaster T100 wheel on this one, for example. So definitely seeing that, you know, not having the best gear does not mean anything. We're seeing these drivers who are on maybe older hardware, you know, maybe top of the line hardware, but still competing and putting up great runs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's see if he can maybe repeat his real life success of scoring 98 in the qualifying, which he has done IRL. And good to see that history didn't repeat itself with his PC turning off.
Oh,
which apparently has happened to him during qualifying before.
Oh, that I did not know.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But lucky
also,
to see.
Of course, one of our younger drivers, by the way, at 12 years old already drifting.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, a lot of respect for that. So 58 points for the first run, and off the line we go for the second run for Benes from Lithuania, and off the line we go.
Let's see if he can bring home some more points for Team NKTK. Nice going around the inside clip, and now outside zone 3. It fills it halfway through, now setting up for outside zone 4. Nice and deep in it, bumper on the wall, now transitioning over for outside zone 5. Looking steady, going in it, right on the edge of the line as well. A little bit of a shaking, but I think that's a connection issue. Hitting the touch and go very well, coming up to outer zone 7 right now. Just scraping that bumper on the tire wall, leaving his mark there. Good run overall, I think.
Could be an improvement. Could be an improvement. Yeah, yeah. Not bad, not bad.
I think that's a network jitter that we're seeing here, right?
Yeah, that does look like that. Yeah, see on this one as well. You can. That's definitely the connection. That's definitely the connection. But yeah, other than that, you know, looking like a nice and solid run. I feel like it's gonna be an improvement from the first run, but also, if it's gonna be close to the points of the first run, he's also gonna be close to the drop-off zone. You know, gotta be careful with that. Gotta be careful with that.
Oh yeah, he definitely wants to improve his run to solidify his place in the top 32 in the tandems. With 58 points, oh, you gotta sit here and be scared that somebody is gonna take you out, because we have quite a few drivers, including the late group, still participating in this.
Yeah, and there we go, an improvement, up to 63 points he goes.
Nice.
So a bit safer, you know, could still be right on the edge of that cutoff for the top 32, depending on how the next drivers do. Right,
I mean,
here, you know?
it's just pretty high up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something more than 10. I think we only had 10 drivers in total.
I think he could be right on the line.
Yes.
Possibly.
Yes.
But that all depends on our next drivers, which of course, right now we have Iskander Mursalov on the line. Green light already going, and yep, off the line we go. All right, from Estonia, Garage 55, straight line entry into the first outside zone, fills it out nicely. Let's see that inside clip. Beautiful job by Iskander on that one, transitioning into outside zone 3. Ooh, shallows out. Yeah, a bit too much angle, a bit too early, couldn't hit the zone, but does do a nice wall ride up until that contact, saves it. Still going strong in outside zone 5, all the way to the outside of the zone. Can we keep it together on this one? Yes, indeed he can. All right, into the touch and go, and outside zone 7. Slow it down just a bit, add some more angle, and over the line we go. Yeah, some errors right there, you know, missing a few zones, but still getting a first scored run in. This one though, this run might be close, if not below the drop-off zone right now, you know, depending on how badly he messed up on some of the other zones. So yeah, this is gonna be a close one. This is gonna be a difficult one right here.
Yeah, looked really solid, except at outer zone 3, which he missed completely. Other than that, like that wall tap, that looked super scary.
Yeah.
I thought he's going to completely crash out, and he's still not afraid to put the bumper in the wall into outer zone 7 as well.
It was a great save. By Iskander. So
very brave on the run. Let's see if that gets rewarded in points from the judges.
On the drop zone right now, Zidrunas with 53 points. So 54 points is all he needs, and he is right below that at 50.
So okay, let's see if he can improve it in the second time around. Looks like he doesn't really see the semaphore, but he's off, And the same initiation, completely filling outer zone 1. That looks really smooth. Could be quite deeper in the inside clip. Now let's see for outer zone 3. He hits it this time halfway through only though. Into outer zone 4 now, enters it a bit shallow, but gets deeper in it towards the end of it. Now a bit of a correction here just before outer zone 5 to get some more angle out of it. Was quite shallow an angle going coming up to it. Hits the touch and go and the last outside zone already and bumps the wall and makes a big correction to stay in the angle.
I did not think he was going to survive that last outside zone, I'll be honest with you.
Sometimes, like if you're using a direct drive wheel, it just wants to snap out to your hands.
Yep.
It just wants to go, and you know, if you're not holding on to it very tightly, then you can completely lose it. But he went. Look at this correction as well.
Yeah.
Just before
you saw him.
5.
He went over the bump, but what I mentioned before, you know, going over the bumps, the weight transfer and the speed, the angle at which you're going into it, you know, all of those do make up a bit of a difference. And if you go over it at the wrong spot, that can really, really throw you off, which unfortunately happened here for Iskander. So let's see if he can manage to score a bit higher to maybe get himself over that drop zone right here.
Interesting to see such a so many nail biter runs at the very end of it.
Yep.
It's just everything gets decided at the last group.
Oh yeah.
And the last and it's a 49, so unfortunately he doesn't even get to see himself in the top 32 at all this time.
Tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
But hey, thank you for participating. Unfortunately, it didn't work out this time. You know, hope to see you on the next one.
Yeah, but let's see what our next driver from Portugal can do. It's going to be Daniel Moura from Team Blind coming in.
All right, another Team Blind driver.
Yeah.
On the line. Let's see if we can get another qualifying score in the boards right there. And off the line we go. All right, let's go into the E46. Initiating with a nice aggressive flick. Beautiful job on outside zone 1. A lot of angle going to the inside clip, hits that very nicely, transitions onto outside zone 3. Good job there as well. Alright, let's get onto the first wall. A bit less angle, but still nicely into the zone. Great job by Daniel. Not bad at all. And into outside zone 5. Nice! Very good job on filling out the zones. Touch and go as well towards the middle of it. Not bad at all, not too shabby. And breaking it up in the end. Great job by Daniel right there. There we go, good job on the first lap. So yeah, in the sim right here driving an E46, but a driver who has an E30 in real life.
Oh, I am jealous.
E30. I am so jealous as well. As soon as I read that,
yeah.
I don't know if you saw that, but I don't know if you heard that, you know, but in my commentating there was a bit of a bobble right there, you know, where I myself stopped talking because I saw that he wrote that he has an E30. I'm jealous.
Yeah, but speaking of the run, maybe not the deepest fill of the zones, but really smooth, absolutely zero corrections. So he has gone the way, he has chosen the way of just sticking with the angle that he throws in for each of the zones. And that gives him a 72, so consistency and smoothness apparently is key. You probably don't really need to fill all of the zones perfectly, but if you're just very smooth, and you can see what good hardware can give you. Like he's on a SimCube 1, he's on a really good direct drive wheel. And let's see if he can raise his score even higher on the second run. Really good initiation into outer zone 1. Big angle coming around the touch and go, no, the inside clip. Way deeper into outside zone 3 already, and 4. Good fill, improvement from the last one for sure. Still no corrections seen on this run. Good into outer zone 5, right on the edge of it. Beautiful, coming into the touch and go, right on the wall at the touch and go. Didn't even need to do that. And coming into outer zone 7, a bit further away from the wall, but very good inside the zone. Very similar to the first run, but with just a little bit more aggression, I would say, a bit more confidence.
And exactly as Daniel himself has said, you know, what are the most important things for drifters? Well, confidence and don't make mistakes. And I mean, look at that run. Very confident and very low on mistakes, I would say as well, you know.
Yeah, that's
definitely
the easiest.
committing into the zones, not letting go of the throttle, you know, staying into the zones all the way through and getting some very solid runs on the board right here. Great job by Daniel Moura from Team Blind. 76. A
Nice.
nice improvement.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to get good scores is to not make any mistakes. You should try it. It really helps you.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's the key to everything. Just don't make mistakes and you're golden.
Oh! Hold on, I have to call her. All right, anyways, up next on the line, Declan Donnelly right there with the E36, the yellow E36, and off the line we go already. And he got the lights on as well. A bit of a straight line entry right there into the outside zone 1. Not bad at all. Fills the zone nicely into the inside clip as well. Beautiful job so far by Declan. Into the outside zone 3 as well. Very fast through this course right here. A bit shallow on that outside zone 4 right there, but still does get into that zone, does hit the zone. And same thing for the outside zone 5, except a bit deeper than in outside zone 4 as well. Touch and go, beautiful. And slowing it down just a bit to finish this run right on the wall. Great job by Declan. Good job on the first run.
Yeah.
Very, very well done. Another one of our younger drivers as well. Also a 12-year-old driver. So definitely seeing some of the newer drivers step up and, you know, putting in the hours, putting in the laps to get good at the sim.
Yeah, and even though he's from Ireland, his favorite track is Riga, so props to him for that, for liking our beautiful Vitali track. Also, another fan of James Dean, who we have seen, is we have a lot of drivers who are fans of James Dean. He's one of them, high up there, being an idol for a lot of these drivers here.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. With the hazard lights on, he's ready to tear the track apart for the second run. While we wait for the second, no, for the score for his first run. I'm sorry. It did look like he has practiced a lot.
And honestly, I do like his comment on how he stays focused and calm during a competition. Just lock in.
Yeah,
You know, it's honestly that simple, you know. Remember, if you ever are having troubles concentrating, just you gotta lock in, you know. You
Exactly.
gotta knock out those spreadsheets, you know. Whatever you gotta do, you gotta lock in.
yeah. I did also like that a lot of other drivers replied to that question as, "Do you like? How do you stay focused?" And they said like, "I don't," or
Yeah,
"Do
yeah.
I? You think I do?"
Exactly. Anyways,
Yeah,
first run,
70 for the first run. Let's see the second one. Big flick initiation and massive angle into outer zone 1. Coming in for the inside clip and clips it a little bit with the front of his car. Now big transition over to outer zone 3. Fills it like 75% of the way. Now coming into outer zone 4. A bit of shallow on it, but still keeps it in with massive angle coming into outer zone 5 now. Very close to the edge of the zone. Fills it very nicely. Coming into the touch and go now, a bit of a shimmy, a bit of a correction just in the touch and go, but good in outer zone 7 and went for a 360 attempt, but only spun out at the end. That might not be good. That might be another 0 just because of it.
you think they would count it as that? I have to see the replay. I looked over at something else towards the end, so I'll be honest, I didn't quite catch what the end of the run was like. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the run did look amazing yet again by Declan. The first run, scoring a 70, solid, not bad at all. Should definitely guarantee him getting into the tandems tomorrow. So yeah, a bit of a correction right there. Not exactly what we would want to see. So let me see the end. Fully locks up the front tires to get it over the line, and I would say I don't think they're gonna count that as an incomplete.
He doesn't straighten out. He doesn't show that he has control of the car. That's the thing.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
know,
I think
that's the
I think
big
he
discussion.
I
It
think
is
he
68,
goes
yeah.
off the straight, and yeah, there we go, 68. So very close to perfection on that second run right there. Very close to perfection. But right now, the next person on the drop zone, it is already Mr. Edward Redmanis.
You didn't even notice that he knocked you out the park.
Look. As long as I don't mention it, it didn't happen. Okay?
Okay, why did you mention me being there then?
Well, you see, if I'm knocked out and you're knocked out, then I'm all good, right? So,
Okay.
Duarte, let's see if you can do it. Come on, from Portugal, Team Blind, off the line, he goes in the red E36. Can you score 57 or higher? I know you can with a nice initiation in outside zone 1 and inner clip. Beautiful job right there. Transition onto outside zone 3. Hits that one nicely as well towards the middle of the zone. Could be a bit deeper right there. there, but on this outside zone 4, really consistent, right, all the way to the middle of the zone, into outside zone 5 as well, staying very consistent into the zones. Yes, in some of those he could be a bit deeper, but very consistent. Nice job on the touch and go as well, and slowing it down, last zone. Beautiful job by Duarte right there, and yes, I believed in him. I knew Duarte could do it.
Yeah,
I knew he could do it. I'm gonna call it early.
Yeah, it looks like he definitely did. I definitely see why he has red specs on his car, because that's my blood. He just run me over. I'm definitely out of this competition already. Really good run from Duarte here. Look at outer zone 4. Very smooth, very steady, no corrections there. Coming into outer zone 5 with massive angle, right on the edge of it, just before the line. Now coming up to touch and go. Kisses the wall with the back of the car, and now look at outer zone 7, just
great job.
Smooth angle, exactly the same angle all the way throughout the zone,
and
absolutely no
another one
corrections.
of our real life drivers as well. So he got into sim racing for cheap seat time, which honestly, you know, sim is the way to go if you want cheap sim time, and in real life also driving an E36. So there we go, actually some great practice then. Speaking of which, second run right now. Off the line we go. First run was an 85-point run, by the way. So let's see if he can improve that on the second one. Initiating right here on to the inner clip. Beautiful job by Duarte, and transitioning into outside zone 3. Oh, taps the wall and straightens out right there. So big mistake on the second run. Might actually be a 0 for Duarte, but still great job for the rest of the run. Sets himself up nicely for outside zone 5. Great job getting into the touch and go as well. And very well done by Duarte for the rest of the run. Unfortunately had that big mistake, which honestly might be a bit much for it to be considered a scored run, but hey, 85 points on the first run, he's in already.
Yeah.
You know, he was just trying to get those few extra points, you know, throwing it in as hard as he could for this one. But yeah, see that big mistake right there. Very unfortunate.
Well, he just went for that 90+ run. He had to go full confidence, and it just didn't work out this time. Probably will next time. This still point puts him quite high up in the board for today's quali. That was a really nice score.
Very well done. Well done.
It looks like drivers who are inspired by Irish drivers are actually hitting it really hard, because he's a big fan of Jack Shanahan. Oh my god. Oh, talking for hours like this really makes my tongue twist. And
Jack Shanahan.
Jack Shanahan. Sorry, Jack. I'm not trying to mock your name or anything. I'm just struggling on the pronunciation.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, either way. Yeah, another one of our, as I said, real-life drivers as well, who drives an E36 both in real life and in the sim, and I mean, you could see the consistency.
Yeah.
You could see that the seat time has already been put in. I mean, from what he says, you know, he's been drifting for quite a while as well. So yeah, there we go. Let's wait and see what the judges say about that second run. Still deciding whether that was a 0 or not, I think. So
even if it wasn't a 0, it's not an improvement on the previous run, so it's kind of irrelevant.
There are multiple 85s. So as you can see, Duarte and Ritum's both with the 85. So the second run is what determines their placing.
You are absolutely right.
As well. So yeah, if there could be one spot in the world where he could drift, where would he be? Japan. I feel like that might be the answer for almost everybody here.
Oh yes.
63 points on the second run, so unfortunately not going to Japan with that one, but he is going to be going into the top 32 tomorrow. Can't wait to see you there, and hopefully some more solid and consistent runs as well from that one.
Yeah, and that's it for our scheduled groups. And now the last thing that we have is the late group with 4 other drivers that are gonna still try and upset our score. And how did we miss that? We actually can have a 60 drop zone.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, it is really close. Still, Darvis Ostrega still on the top, dominating with the 93 qualifying score, and Vitali Isaya right behind him with an 87. But Andris Kleinbergs now has claimed the 3rd place with exactly the same score as Vitali, just a worse score for the second run.
Yep.
And bottoming out our top 32 at the moment on the drop zone is Guido Egley, is with 58 points. Then we have Enk in 31st with 59 points, and then Daniel is with 60 points. So we can have a 50-point drop zone.
4 people in the late group. That means Rainer could be on the chopping block as well. So our bottom 4 drivers right now Guido, Enk, Danielis, and Rainer. All 4 of you should be really, really hoping
Oh yeah.
for the late drivers to, maybe a bit more late or something, because you are right on the line,
And the last driver's points, look at this. It's 59, 58, 59, 60, 61,
Exactly.
62.
Exactly.
So it's a really tight margin. It's a 1 point difference if you're going to stay or going to get knocked out, which place you're going to end up.
Yeah, so there we go. Nauris in the chat. Yeah, you are definitely in. You are 100% safe with the 66-point run.
Yeah.
Good job. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. So there we go. Didn't quite work out for you on the last one, right? Both you and Ed got eliminated, or was it you who made it and he got eliminated? How was it? Did Nauris make it through on the last one?
I don't remember. That was a month ago, and we've
Right,
done so many
right.
things in between.
Yeah,
I just can't
yeah.
keep things like that in my head for long, unfortunately. But well, high five. We fell out again.
Let's go. We did it.
Yeah.
Brothers together strong. You got 33rd. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so you were right on the chopping block there. Okay, yeah. So yeah, there you go. Good job. Gonna be in the tandems tomorrow. Can't wait to see you there.
He wasn't right on the chopping block. His head was on the top in the basket that's standing next to the guillotine.
Now that you mention it, yeah, that wording might be a bit more correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
In round 2, you bumped me out. Yeah, it happens.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, looks like the track is quite empty for now. Only seeing one driver getting off the line even. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only this E36 that we've seen, so
yeah.
might be less drivers than we thought initially in that late group as well. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that one. But hey, definitely have at least one person lining up and getting ready to go. And looking decently solid as well, honestly. That first run he did hit the wall, but right now, seeming pretty solid.
Oh,
So
yeah?
might be a contender for the top 32 as well for us right here. Couldn't quite see who that was. Cannot remember off the top of my mind.
Yeah,
There we go. Only
going to have one driver.
late
That's
group.
going to be Maciej Wilinski, if
All
I
right.
understand correctly, from Poland.
Yeah. So now for Guido, you're gonna have to look at these runs carefully because he might be the one who's gonna be knocking you out. So let's get ready for the first run. Maciej Flisinski, whew, from Poland. All right, off the line we go. That blue in that green E36, a bit of a late initiation. All right, let's go into the outside zone 1, hitting the zone, not quite as much angle as we would like to see, hitting the inside clip as well. Now transitioning over to outside zone 3, a bit shallow on that one, into outside zone 4 we go. Beautiful job in outside zone 4, riding the wall very nicely, a bit shallow on the angle, but very solid into the zone. Same thing for outside zone 5 as well, shallowing out a bit towards the end of that one, but hitting the touch and go. And now for outside zone 7, let's slow down just a bit, and a bit of a correction there towards the end. Yeah, a bit too much on the brakes, slowed down too early, had to take out some of the angle to finish this lap, but looks like it will be a score on the board. I do think so. So yeah, definitely leaving some more room for improvement. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, definitely could see that he was struggling with the initiation a little bit, trying to approach it quite carefully so it wasn't a hard flick or anything. Looked like a bit of a handbrake pull, but quite a good job in the rest of the zones. Definitely, of course, as you already said, left some points on the table to be desired for sure. Quite a big correction here and misses a lot of outer zone 7 as well. Yeah, quite interesting. I don't know if that's exactly enough to beat 58 to get in the tandems.
Yeah,
but that is going to be some sort of a score nevertheless.
Exactly.
That's the only difference that we need to make is if it's going to be enough to get him in or not.
Of course, while we're waiting for the run, while everybody's still here, remember to follow the socials for Drift RTRiga, follow the TikTok, the YouTube, the Instagram, and of course, join the Discord server.
Yeah.
Join in on the next rounds.
On the next round, because next round is round number 5, and
Yes,
it is the
true,
final round
true.
of this series.
Yeah. So yeah, don't forget to join in, join in for the chats, maybe just hop into the servers as well, just for practice, don't really have to, even if you can't participate for one reason or another into the comp itself, you can still hop into the server, drive the cars, enjoy some door-to-door action, these E36 and E46. And because the initiation is going to be a 0 for the first run. So yeah, unfortunately with the late initiation and messing that up, not going to be a scored run, but still has a second run. So let's see if he can manage to improve that and get himself up into that top 32. 59 points is what he needs. I don't remember if Guido had 2 scored runs or not, but if he does score a 58 and Guido has 2 scored runs, he's going to be lower. So he needs the 59 or higher to 100% solidify, and there we go, off the line we go, initiating right there with a bit of a flick. Definitely a better initiation than on the last one, not bad at all right there by Maciej, and great job on the inside clip as well, transitioning into outside zone 3, a little bit shallow, but hey, gets into the zone either way, off to the outside zone 4, great job, not seeing any corrections right on the edge of the wall as well right there, great stuff into outside zone 5, he did slow down a bit much before getting to outside zone 5, so that might have messed up his line just a little bit, but still managing to make it work until the end where he unfortunately undershoots it and misses the last outside zone.
Well, at least he didn't screw up the initiation this time around, so there's definitely going to be a scored run. You could see a long handbrake initiation there, the rear wheels were completely blocked halfway through outside zone 1. Outside zone 3 also in the middle of it, but outside zone 4 very good, completely fills it. Now really good transition here, no dramas, no corrections going through outer zone 5. Maybe a little bit of a correction here just after the touch and go, just to get some more angle to stay in drift. But yeah, couldn't find the speed.
The start and the end of the lap.
Yeah.
If you saw, I don't know if you caught that, but at the start when he was initiating, he held the handbrake for too long. He was already decently, like a few meters into the zone when he let go of the handbrake and lit off. So also a big mistake right there. So at the start, at the end of the lap, not quite what we want to see from him right there. Middle of the track was looking pretty good. You know, of course, some corrections here and there. Definitely had some stuff that he could improve, but overall was looking very solid in the middle. Just had to iron out the start and the end of the track. Unfortunate.
Yeah, let's see if this was enough to get him into the tandems, because 58 is not particularly high score to beat, but still with some pretty big mistakes. And he's below it. He scores a 46 and unfortunately doesn't get him in the competition. So Guido Egley, this must be jumping in joy in his room right now that he manages to save his position in the tomorrow's tandems. And this is what our tomorrow's tandems are going to look like. Well, not the tandems itself, but these are going to be the drivers participating. In our top 3 we have Darius Ostreika with 93, Vitali Isaya with 87, and Andris Kleinbergs with another 87. And topping and bottoming out is once again Guido Egley is with a 58 points. So the scores are once again all over the place, starting from 58, ending up with a 93. So this is going to be a really interesting race tomorrow. We're going to see a 58-point driver going up against 93-point driver in our first battle of tomorrow. That's going to be fun.
But of course, also remember, you know, upsets can happen.
Oh,
if
yes.
You remember last round?
Oh, yes.
Of course, right there, Ritums qualifying 6th this time. So one of our top qualifiers on this one qualified quite low on the last one, but still managed to fight his way through those stand-up battles. So let's see if any of those drivers tomorrow are also going to be able to do that, you know, hoping to see some nice upsets and some good battles right here.
Yeah, and we're going to have to see Matis Slatis, for example, battling in the middle of the pack this time around. Not going to be easy for him to get out of there, or the other way around. Probably might be really easy for him. We'll see.
For Mark as well, for example, look at Mark right there, 15th qualifier with a 76-point run. Last event, perfect event for him. On this one, not managing to do as well as he could. You know, in the chat also said that he did mess up quite bad on his runs. So yeah, maybe, you know, not quite what he himself was expecting as well. But everything's gonna be decided, of course, tomorrow in those tandems.
Yeah, tomorrow tandems at 7 p.m. Riga time on the same YouTube channel. We're gonna battle it out on the same track, and that is definitely going to be a lot of fun. Thanks to all the drivers for coming to the qualifying today. It was great fun. Thanks to all the YouTube chatters as well. As my brother already said, don't forget to get in the Discord, get in the cars, get some tandems in, because tonight the servers are going to be chock full of drivers who are going to be practicing for tomorrow's tandems. It's the best time ever to get some door-to-door action, is right after the quali, before the race. So that is going to be some heat in the practice servers, I can imagine. Also, don't forget to follow all the other socials, the Instagrams, the TikToks, the whatnot.
Was there a TikTok? I keep forgetting if there was a TikTok or not.
I have no idea.
After I mentioned it, I start thinking like, wait, no, I know there was an Instagram. Either way, we're
Yeah.
closing in towards the end of the day and, of course, end of the stream as well. So thank you all for joining in. Hope to see you all tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been Ed and Red on the casting board, and let's see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Riga time, basically 2 hours from what the time is right now, tomorrow.
Yep.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.